think we're live.
Pre-show.
I think pre-show.
Maybe?
Yeah, maybe. We're going to double check.
We had to do a sound check, so that's why it took us a little longer.
Remind me next time.
Yeah.
So, hold on. Yeah, I'm sorry if we're a little late.
Yeah.
We are live. I'm telling someone we're live. Check and see. Check our sound, please.
yeah. Let us know about our sound levels.
Yeah, let us know of our levels.
So we had to kind of double check that. That's why it took a little longer.
Yeah, let me know if we're a little loud. And nope, not Gmail. Gmail is not Twitch.
Okay.
And hold on, let me check on the YouTube. Oh, yep, stream help.
Yeah, we're doing stream on YouTube at the same time today, right?
We are.
Is it the first time that we're doing this?
No. We're normally on YouTube and Twitch at the same time.
Oh, for the live.
For the live.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you did not know that.
I thought it uploaded to YouTube later.
No.
Okay.
We do. We are always live streaming on YouTube and Twitch. We do not live stream to Facebook any longer.
Okay.
In the very beginning, we live streamed to all three.
Okay.
But they had to pay to live stream to Facebook.
Oh, that's lame.
And yeah, right.
I mean, I don't like.
And it was $20 a month.
What? Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
that's
wow.
That's like $400 a year,
oh.
or $240 a year. Anyways, it was more money than I had.
Sure.
And until I have more money coming in.
Yeah.
And then the truth is I can upload it to Facebook after we're live.
Yeah.
And so I just try to push for subscribers.
Yep.
And so we actually have more viewers on Twitch, which I'm double checking that we are on. Yes, we are on Twitch because I didn't get my butt buzz.
Do you want to do our transition then?
I think it is just about time for our transition. Yeah. So hey everybody. So that way you can
see our faces, just like usual.
Right.
So just give us just a second here.
Hey! Hi, it's Heidi.
Hey everybody.
Well,
I'm
that
Dane.
was probably really loud. And Dane. And it's
That's
Happy
me.
Little Miniatures time. New day. Wednesdays. Yep. Not a new time. Same time.
Yep. We're going to do
same bat channel.
Yep. We're going to try to do the same time.
But this is our new day.
Yep.
And we're doing something super special today. I know we're still in the middle of zombie side. Don't freak out because I know this is not zombie side. But we're taking a little break because it's a paint and play it series. And guess what we're playing this Friday? HoLAs, my favorite. Yeah, and me and my friends, we all backed HoLAs because we're all huge HoLA fans.
Okay.
And we all backed the second printing with Pestilence.
Oh.
Pestilence.
So there was an upgrade?
That's what this is, actually.
Oh, okay.
This is Pestilence. I guess I could... Can you bring it up just a smidge? And then they can see it.
We noticed that the box is a little slippery. So
it is a little slippery.
Yeah.
And so Pestilence is the 7th player. And so there's Order and Chaos is the first expansion. And then there's Pestilence. I love saying that. Hey, hi, Senpai. Welcome thank you for the alert.
Our regular
yes,
viewer.
And our subscriber.
Yes. Oh yes, you subscribed as well. So this is what what the
it gives the bird folk and the merfolk, and it gives you a floating island and an island that's like above the board. It's really cool.
So there's like character classes
and also when you started it, you could get the Mercenaries expansion, the Nomads expansion.
Oh, the Nomads? You mean the ones we're painting today?
Yes, I
Nomads?
do. Because I got the painted. Yeah, I did. I got the painted, so check it out. The Mercenaries, they came painted.
Okay.
And so, but the Nomads, they didn't.
Okay.
I was like, what the?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. So...
So you got some cool giant
I did get some cool guys painted. I was really psyched about. And all the heroes are painted in the set. So for all of 8 factions, every single hero is painted, which is super cool,
yeah,
right?
Definitely.
And on another episode, we're gonna base all these heroes.
Of course.
Yeah, we're gonna base all these and just kind of update.
Yep.
And make all my painted ones
The
even better.
final step.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes you do.
That's just gonna be a different episode, not this one. But
great.
what happened here is it doesn't come with the serfs and the warriors painted. They're unpainted, which is pretty norm when you get a painted set and you have a bunch of warriors. If y'all are wondering, this is a Sandbox. I just had to say this real quick. This is a Sandbox Gaming organizer, and I have my HoLAs.
Oh yeah.
All organized with the Sandbox Gaming Sandbox games, my Sandbox Gaming organizers. We're actually going to be doing a raffle during the game, and they're going to be we're going to be raffling off some organizers from my Sandbox Gaming that my Sandbox Gaming will be donating for the raffle. So I'm super excited about that. Anyways,
that's great.
Yeah, that is super exciting. So we need to be able to distinguish between the warriors and the serfs. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do like a super quick wash.
Yep.
With most likely with the contrast colors. That's our plan because we love how easy they are.
Yep.
However, I've been doing some research and
yeah,
you know me.
YouTube.
I ran over to your friendly local game store to pick up some contrast colors. Yes.
Should we mention which friendly local game store?
Oh, I suppose we could.
Yeah.
I went over to Game Depot down on McClintock and Southern, and I was surprised at the price of the Citadel colors.
Yes, the colors. Yes, the British. Yes. The proper British pronunciation.
Although I know that game stores, I don't know if I posted this on GirlzgameToo's Facebook, but game stores were pretty much forced into buying that rack.
The whole new rack.
That whole new rack from Citadel, which was a $4,000 investment. So, I mean, it didn't completely surprise me.
They relaunched the entire range, basically.
So, to be able to sell their past inventory as well as the new inventory.
And then they added new colors to the old inventory.
Yeah. To be able to sell all that, for a small business owner to stay in business and be able to still sell all that, that was a pretty big investment.
Yes.
That any business, I mean, as a small business owner myself, I would not be able to make that kind of investment. That's huge.
Right.
That's a huge investment. And so I wasn't completely surprised at the price, to tell you the truth. I thought it was fairly reasonable for Citadel.
Yeah, for Citadel. Yeah, when we're talking about this is we're talking about Citadel here.
Yeah.
And they had just recently raised the prices of the paints as well.
Right.
So that it was basically in order to prepare for that. Yeah, that's usually
prepare people for those numbers.
Yep, exactly.
So they're just under $8 a pot.
Right. So with tax, they're over $8.
And that's the small pots for the HoLAs.
Yeah.
Compared to you would spend that much for a big pot of regular.
Yes.
Like a technical color.
So you can compare the size here.
Yeah.
Well, actually, this technical, which is the medium for contrast, is a larger pot. So you see how the size is just about 20%.
Yeah, exactly.
20% larger. So you're paying 20% more.
So you know me, I'm always looking for a less expensive shortcut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, segue. How about that?
Yeah. So I keep reading about this future floor wax.
Yes.
Basically, kind of like, I do Poor Man's Pour with Elmer's glue as my medium. Well, this is using future floor wax basically as a mix medium in your paints to basically do the same exact thing that the contrast colors do. Okay? So, I had to do a little research because you cannot buy future floor wax under the name future floor wax anymore.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Why is that? Do you know?
Because they sold their company.
Oh, okay. So the name itself has been sold.
Yeah,
okay.
so, but you can buy the same formula. So, Pledge, Revive, Floor, Finish.
Okay. That's the real name
the real name now. Is the same as Future Floor Wax. All right. And so if you Google that shit under Magic Wash. Yes, it looks like a 3-year-old wash did this because I had to do it upside down and backwards. That's how I wrote this. And you can see Dane's much better at the upside down and backwards writing.
And that's, I'm doing this while you're doing that. So I'm just going to tell him really quick. I'll be priming these other guys.
He's priming the nomads as I do this.
Yep.
Magic Wash, Magic Dip is another one. Because you can do this. Have you ever heard of like just doing the magic dip with the eggs? Same thing.
The paws, right? Yeah. The Easter eggs.
Same exact thing. You can do this where you use the marbling, and you make a marble with it, and you use this, and then you dip your stuff in it. Same exact thing. So it's a 3-to-1 mixture is what I did. I have never done this before, folks. So if it fails on me, you guys are gonna see.
3-to-1. So it's 3-to-1.
So what I did was 3 tablespoons of the floor wax to 1 tablespoon of water.
Is that a 3? No.
See, and here I just said that's still backwards.
Is it?
Kinda.
No, it's just a little funky on the bottom.
Oh, okay. All right. So 3-to-1. All right, 3-to-1.
Okay.
So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take regular Citadel paint. Now, everything I read says you don't have to use the fancy Citadel paints.
Okay.
But you do want to use a thinner paint.
Okay, so
like an ink.
A thinner paint like an ink.
Like an ink.
Okay.
Or a super thinned out with water acrylic.
Okay, so
or a super soft body acrylic.
So in the case of Games Workshop, Citadel brand, that would be the wash or the
washes
shade.
Or the shades. Yeah. Yes. So you want to use the washes or the shades.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I have 2 shades here. So what we're going to do is a comparison. All right, to see one if it does the same thing, or if it does it better, or yada yada, right? And we basically use it like you would a medium in mixing with it. Is how I've read. We're gonna mix it kind of the same. Although I think we're gonna use a little more than you would a medium, because you don't put too much of that medium in, do you?
Generally you don't use too much, right? Especially since it's already gonna be a thin down paint.
Now, this stuff, though, is fairly thick.
I'm
going to show it to you. I did it up in a bottle here.
It is, yeah, so it's...
So, can you guys see that? Yeah, you guys can.
Can I mix it up?
Yeah. So, there's some thickness to that, and there's a little stickiness to it.
Okay.
So, if you feel it, like on your hands, I don't know if you've ever... used Future Floor Wax, but as a child, I used to do the floors with it. All right, so I have a little experience with this.
Now, is that non-toxic?
Oh hell, I don't think so.
Okay, so don't do what I just did.
What did you just do? Put it in your mouth?
No, I put my fingers on it. I put my fingers in it.
Such a child.
Yeah.
You can put your fingers in it.
I'm sure that's
I don't
not
think
a
it's
big deal.
that bad.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. All right, so.
Just don't lick your brushes.
Yeah, don't lick your brushes.
I do have a habit of doing that. You probably don't want to do it with this.
So I probably put a half dollar's worth in there.
Okay. A $50. So like the old coins, the $50 coins.
A $50.
Are those even around anymore? I don't even know.
Well, I have a whole bunch in my safe. I probably shouldn't tell people that, huh? So. All right.
Which is in an undisclosed location. So.
Exactly. You don't know where my safe is. All right. So then I'm gonna try.
Take a couple of dollops of that. How
much do you think I should put of
Citadel
this?
shade? And that's the Cassandora yellow.
This is the Cassandora yellow.
Yeah. So it looks orange.
It does look orange.
It almost even looks red on the camera. But it is actually a yellow, a shade for yellow paint.
What do you think? That's probably about a quarter's. Or probably not.
Yeah, no, that's close.
Dime's worth?
Yeah, well, and it's...
So I'm trying to still do the 3-to-1 mixture with the paint and the medium.
Okay.
All right? So that seems about 3-to-1 there, don't you think?
3-to-1, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks good.
All right, and we're going to mix.
Mix it all together.
Mm-hmm.
See how that looks.
And I'm going to see how it looks exactly.
And
how it's flowing.
While we're talking about colors, I forgot to mention the color I'm priming these guys with is the Gray Seer from Citadel Color. So you know.
The Warriors, we're just going to do a single wash on.
Okay.
But these guys that he's doing, the Nomads, we're actually going to do, what did we decide, 4 or 5 color?
Yeah, probably about 4 or 5 colors.
So we're actually going to do a fairly major paint on them, but we're going to use the contrast colors.
Yes.
To do that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll still
excited about this.
It'll still be batch painting.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's still definitely gonna be okay. All right. So, I am excited. Can you hand me one of them? paper towels, please.
Yeah.
I want to clean my brush here. The bottom of my brush. All
Does
right.
anybody have any questions so far? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know if you have any questions. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move my keyboard out of the way. And I'm going to just do, now I'm doing these on the Lionkin. And,
Not Lion King?
No.
Okay.
The Lionkin faction. This seems a little thin, but now the contrasts are a little thin too.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. They're actually a little thicker. They're a little thicker. But when you add the contrast medium, they definitely get thinner. All right. I'm kind of curious myself. I've never seen this being used before. So.
I'm kind of curious to see how this falls myself.
My main thing is I'm wondering is it going to stick? Because you did wash these.
Yeah, I washed these.
Yeah.
These are not primed.
Right.
This is fascinating me. So,
So we're doing a little bit of science experiment here.
Yeah, this is the first time we've ever done this. All I did was wash these. I did use a toothbrush and a little soap, a little dish soap.
Mm-hmm. Oh, do you remember where you read about this?
I just so I just Googled it.
Okay.
I Googled what's up with future floor wax and miniature painting.
Okay.
And
so I have heard about it for years, and I've never been brave enough to try it.
Well, that's what we're here for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That is exactly what we're here for. And look at this, Dane. It's doing it.
What's it doing? It's pretty subtle at the moment, but you might
subtle,
oh, there we go.
See
okay.
how it's like dropping into the recesses like that and sticking there?
Yeah.
And now it's also going to give a glossy finish because of the wax.
The wax in it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
It's very subtle, though.
It's not really. Yeah, it's not really in a very extreme effect.
It's not extreme at all.
So.
But it is doing now. Yeah, it also could be the color we picked.
We're going to end up comparing and contrasting.
We're going to compare it and contrast with the other. I think an orc fell on me. So we're going to do two in the wash and two with the contrast color, and then whichever one we like best, we'll do the fifth in.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah. And then you can always go back in.
I can always go back in.
Yep. And I had mentioned before, if you really, really, really don't like your paint job, you can always simple green it. But I don't know what would happen if you simple green something that's been floor waxed.
Well, now this can you can strip floor wax.
I'm sure you could. Yeah, it's just a simple green is just an industrial cleaner. It's not really and it's a mild industrial cleaner at that. It's not even that super intense, I don't believe. I wouldn't know what the actual stuff is on that.
Now I could go get it. Now this one seems to be going a little better.
Is anybody else talking to us yet?
Nope, just Senpai.
Okay.
And I think he's also playing on his channel. I should work on him.
He's lurking. So that means he's doing other things then, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Which is something I don't really I don't really know all of the terms, for
put a little bit on
online stuff. So
we'll get you there.
Still learning.
We'll get you there.
Particularly the Twitch terminology, but I do remember lurking from way back when.
You remember how to lurk?
Yeah. From way back when, yeah. Back in the
day.
Instant Messenger and all that. AOL, yeah. Message boards, all that kind of stuff.
All right, so this is what these two.
Yeah, you can just barely see that there's kind of an orange glow to particularly the bottom of the cloak.
Yeah, it definitely went down more towards the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me think you would want to use a thicker paint, But you said that it said to use the thinner paints. Okay.
It did say to use the thinner, but, I could see using a thicker. I could see that, and
maybe
we could always try.
Sure.
We could always try a thicker one, too.
Next time, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think this is going to be the last time we do this magic wash experiment.
That may be, well, there you go. And that may be even what you want to save the 5th one for.
All right, where'd that orc go?
For next week. Or next time, I mean.
There he is.
Next episode.
Well, I had to get them all painted for Friday.
Oh, right. Okay. I forgot about that part. That's the goal of this.
Yes, it's a paint and play it.
We're going to be working pretty fast here.
Yeah, we are. It might be a little longer stream today.
Okay. Let's see how much we can get done.
I'll feed you if I need to.
Okay.
Okay. All right. All right, so now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to make up the Agrak shade for the orc. And I'll do the 2 orcs with the magic dip. And then I'll do the contrast color.
Okay.
So
that's not showing up on the camera, but that's okay, right?
I can.
There you go.
Move it.
Yeah,
over.
you're pretty much using that. So maybe we'll just move the water over here. So
okay, so there's
we
that.
We kind of changed our plan a little bit.
And then we do that. We're on the fly. Oh, and we can push this down now,
yeah.
so it's just there. There we go. And then
okay.
I think I got this one.
So that's another thing about that, though, is that it's another step, right? Rather than just getting it right out of the pot.
That's true. It is another step.
Yeah. All right. So this is the Agrax.
This is the Agrax,
which is a very popular color.
That is another thing, though. You can use colors you already have in stock, and you know.
That's true.
And
turn it into a magic wash.
The magic wash, you can buy this floor wax at Walmart for less than $6.
Okay.
So, and then you'll have enough to last you for a lifetime.
I was just gonna say it probably would if this is what you were using it for, rather than its original intent. Right.
Exactly.
Probably gonna have it for a while.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm on my 3rd.
Oh, and I accidentally got some. There was some other kind of paint in here that just got mixed into this.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's a big uh-oh.
Well, just try to.
I'll try to avoid it.
Pick it up when you or move it around before you pick it up with your brush. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It happens a lot with old palettes.
Yeah.
That's the thing about. Oh, hey, speaking of palettes, we can talk about taking care of your palettes.
Yeah, because I should have cleaned this palette better.
So, I got this one with a Games Workshop paint kit, basically, and it has little divots, and it pops the paint out.
Oh.
Because of how flexible the plastic is. So
that's nice.
Except that's the thing; they've quit making it a long time ago. So it's not like, oh, you can pick it up at your friendly local game shop, but it's not really. Yeah, it was part of a big kind of paint kit, a travel kit. It was pretty cool. Yeah, it was a pretty cool thing, and there was a paint tray that came with it, and then you could put your paints. They were shaped just right to fit the Games Workshop Citadel paints in, and they got to change their models all the time on stuff. So I lucked out by getting it when I did.
Okay, this one's working better. I don't know if I did the mix better.
Okay.
All right, in my opinion, it's working better.
Well, it's also a higher contrast for what you're actually painting as well. Yeah. So yeah, the lions, it looked like it pretty much just dripped all the way down.
It did look like it just. This one,
which is what made me think that the thickness of it is important.
Yeah.
Since the wash is already, the shades are already pretty thin compared to how they used to be. They used to be much thicker.
Right.
Before they replaced the whole range in like 2012, so the entire range was revamped back then. So
well, and see, that's what this magic wash is supposed to do. It's supposed to make it kind of just sit in those recesses, like the contrast does.
Without drip, like doing a drip.
Without doing the whole drip.
Yeah, the tide marks that I mentioned last week or last episode. Yeah, well, I guess actually last episode was last week. This time around,
exactly was yes.
Yeah, since we're getting back on the schedule.
Yeah, we're getting back on schedule.
Mm-hmm. So if anybody's
now
joining
we'll be
us,
every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from here on out. And then if anybody's joining us...
Except for those surprise.
Just now. Well, yeah, that will
times
definitely happen.
when I get a hold of him, I'm like, hey, I got this idea, let's do this. Or he gets a hold of me and he says, hey, I got this idea, let's do this. Which does happen.
You never know. You never know.
And then also our marathon stream from the 8th and 9th.
Okay, August.
He's coming in.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do something like this where we literally pick out a game, and actually I think I know the game we're gonna do.
Okay.
Because I just ordered it. And we're gonna paint the game.
Okay.
And so I just got from Simon. Is it Simon or Come On? I think they're trying. It's supposed to be. It used to be Simon.
Okay.
Simon Games. But they want to change it now to where it's Come On.
Okay, well...
Did you hear that?
It was Cool Mini or Not originally, so...
Right, I know. I know that it was Cool Mini or Not. And so I just read that they want to change it so it's Come On. Like, come on, let's game.
All right.
And remember how I said that's what it should be?
Yeah.
See, I think they just watch our podcast and they just
there you go.
They just don't want to admit it.
Right.
So, admit it. You watch us.
Yeah.
You love us. So come on, let's game. They made my favorite cartoon into a board game.
What's that?
Wacky Races.
They did. Oh,
they
wow.
did.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yes. And so I ordered it, and they have all the miniatures in here. I laugh like that evil dog. That.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, whenever I get really going, people are like, "Oh my God, you laugh like that dog," and I'm like, "I do." And so now we can paint a miniature of the dog. So yeah, I'm thinking that's the one we're gonna do. I had to see how many miniatures it has and everything, and make sure that it will actually work for the stream. But I think it will. I'll know Friday for sure.
All right.
But all right, I have a feeling we're gonna end up liking the contrast better, but
anybody else joined us yet? Whoops.
No one has popped into our stream chat yet.
I was just gonna say
we lost a line, Ken.
If you have
I'm gonna pop
just
these
joined
off.
us. If you have just joined us, I'm priming these with gray sears so we can use contrast paints, and Heidi is experimenting with
Magic Wash with Future Floor Wax, also known as Pledge Revive Floor Wax.
Right, we had to rename it, right?
Yes, and
that was one of those things. You can't find it.
They sold it, basically, is what they did.
You can't find it by its original name, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah. All right, so that's those. And so now I'm going to do the contrast colors on these.
Okay.
So we're just going to flip this palette around.
Okay.
So y'all can see.
Yeah, and you've still got those colors, so if you decide you want to maybe do another coat on there, you could.
Exactly, because as these dry up here, they look glossy.
Yeah, they do.
They definitely look glossy.
Yeah.
So it
but
definitely
not really high gloss, kind of almost a satin.
Yes, but they
make sure to shake those.
Don't
up really
have
good.
a lot of. So the orcs just look a little darker.
Okay.
They don't necessarily look like they've been painted. They look like satiny darker, but they.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. Except at the very bottom.
Yeah, except in the bottom.
It's pooling, which is exactly what you would think that adding the floor wax would do to it in all of the recesses rather than on the very bottom. Right.
Right. But it's very subtle.
Right.
It is very, very subtle.
Yeah, so it won't
So
even
I'm
show
interested
up
to
on camera.
see what the contrast, if the contrast is the same. It could be that we're hydrophobic.
Well, yeah, that's also another thing. That's how you're going to find out by using the contrast.
By contrast.
Yep.
So if the contrast is the same way, then it's a hydrophobic issue.
Yeah.
And we needed to prime.
Yeah, which we're trying to avoid here.
Which you're totally trying to avoid.
Yeah, we want to be able to just for the ones that are the
yeah, for these, because that's just gonna be a pain in the ass.
Paint all of these by priming them.
Yeah, then we need to just dry brush or something.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even dry brushing would probably be a way to do it, but then you're only getting one layer of contrast. So ideally, you want to do a shade to get the shadows, and then a dry brush to get the highlights.
All right, so we're gonna do the contrast Griffhound Orange.
Okay.
What?
So it's like a brown. Oh, that came out really good.
Yeah, it did. Right.
It's like a brown orange, right? A brownish orange.
It is like a brownish orange. So it's gonna, I think, show up a little better on the Lionkin than that yellow did.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's actually going to be much darker, right? Because you actually do have a yellow on here too. Would you rather use that? You have this yellow.
Oh, maybe I should do the yellow.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do this one. Oh, goodness. I apologize. We'll just decline whoever that is.
Okay, I'll just put that right there.
Yeah, yeah, you know what? I think I will do the yellow. Okay. Yeah. So I have a contrast Ivania yellow. We're going to do that instead on the Lion King.
What I could do is, if you want me to use that orange, I can use it on one of these guys.
Yes, let's use it on them.
Okay. I'm going to go and grab some of it just to try it out.
Yes.
And see if I can just put it right on.
Let's do that.
Because that's the thing about contrast. You want to you have to work kind of fast, use a big brush.
You do.
But you also want to work carefully if you're doing more than one color. Yeah, just like that. This is how you paint. Right here, just how I'm doing it.
Luckily, we're only doing one color.
So you're just kind of, when you're doing one color, it's not as big of a deal. But you want to definitely keep moving. Because the paint starts drying
very quickly.
Almost immediately, yeah. About 10 seconds is what you got for each, for your first coat at least. And I already ran out of it. I'm going to go ahead. I'll just steal this from you.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to do one of these guys really quick just to see
Okay, so this is the yellow. So you can see how it's just a little lighter. It's not a ton lighter.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit out on my palette there. And can you see that it's... Where is it? Oh, you know what? You can't see. There we go. Now you can see that it's just... It almost looks red on the camera.
So I'm noticing as I'm painting these guys something else.
What?
This plastic looks... It seems like it has a semi-translucent quality to it. Mm-hmm. So that might be either one of the qualities of the plastic itself, or well, yeah, I guess it could very well be one of the qualities of the plastic itself, I should say, and that may be what's causing some of it. It seems like it's slightly resistant to any paint.
A little hydrophobic.
A little but not completely. Because if it were completely, you would not be able to get any of this to stick. It would bead up and just drop straight down.
Right.
To the bottom of the base.
I'm not getting any beading though on the Lionkins.
Mm-hmm. It'd drop all the way to the top of the base, which would be the bottom of the miniature. So oh wow,
this is definitely popping a huge difference.
And so that's the yellow, and it's showing up as an orange yellow for sure.
Yeah, this is the yellow.
It's very warm yellow. It's almost orange. It's like right at the borderline of what orange would be.
There's almost like a red tinge to it.
Yeah, definitely in the shadow areas, it's almost more of a red.
Definitely, but yeah, it's definitely popping.
And this dwarf guy I just did in that Griff Hound.
Yeah, how'd that do? We maybe need to do a different one to make it contrast more.
Well, this came out pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, it came out pretty good. I'm going to let it dry completely, too, of course. So, there's one color in particular, when you let it dry completely, it almost glows. And it's called Warp Lightning. It's a green color. Ooh. Yeah. I have some of that, but none of your miniatures really.
Oh, wow. What a difference.
Okay, so maybe it's the mixture.
Now, it could also be the mixture. It could also be that this is definitely a warmer color.
It is.
So I now almost want to do a warmer color with the mix.
It's warmer and darker.
It's definitely darker.
You can see this orange. Here, I'm going to go ahead and just grab it.
Go ahead.
Actually, yeah, I'm just going to grab it really quick.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
So this orange here, you can see it versus... Oh, where's the camera? This orange, right? So this one, right, versus this one. You can kind of see how much lighter that is than this one. Hopefully on the camera it'll show up a little bit better. Because we got a monitor here, but the monitor is actually not going to be the same as what's actually showing up on the feed too. So lots of differences, between
So
color
this
profiles.
is Ivandian. Yeah, I can't even say it what it is, but it's a yellow. It's the contrast couleurs.
Iyanden yellow. So
Yeah,
it's
he
the,
said
it's
it.
the Eldar. It's the Eldar yellow.
Eldar, tell me what that means.
So they're space elves.
Oh.
That's all there is to it. They're space elves.
They're space elves.
But they're one of the more interesting Games Workshop design aesthetics wise, because they have all these neat little gemstones flowing all over their costumery, and all the gemstones are supposed to represent spirits that have been that are the remnants of the culture.
Cool.
A culture that was destroyed. Yeah, it's got a pretty cool backstory. It's fairly unique. I don't know what you would compare it to.
So you can tell the difference that when I put this on, it stays in the area. It's not like pooling.
Right. It does stick.
It sticks.
Which is why you don't want to go back at all.
No.
Because if you do, it peels back the previous layer.
Yeah. And unlike the magic wash that pooled, no pooling has occurred here with the contrast couleurs.
Okay.
So, it almost looks like I covered him in blood.
Wow, yeah, that's an intense... It looks much redder.
It's very red.
Because, again, well...
Some definite redness.
Cameras are liars, things that are transparent or translucent do not show up that way necessarily.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what happens when it dries, but yes, that's... I mean, even to me, it looks very red.
So cameras mostly read the mass tone and not the undertone of colors, particularly if they're anything painted.
Oh. Now, do I need to put a little bit more on the back here?
It's also why when, you're looking at your camera at night and everything looks all grainy. Yeah. It's just the lens is just not good enough to pick up that dark. I mean, to the little bit of light that you're seeing, it's your eye's picking it better than the camera's picking it up, unless you've got a special camera.
So, obviously, I'm gonna have to choose one or the other because otherwise, my Lionkins are not gonna look the same. All right, so here's the difference here between one with the magic wash. Yeah,
I can't even tell that the other one's been painted.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. So...
Looks like it's contrast, at least until we can figure out this mixture for the...
Yeah, it looks like an...
Well,
oops.
He picked up some of the magic wash.
Wow, that's an... Oh, maybe, now see, that's... Maybe we should do Earth decks. Oh, hold on. Hold on!
Has it dried?
The universe is talking.
Has it dried, though?
No.
Okay.
Now, the magic dip has not dried.
Okay. Well, it's darker, so, it'll definitely show up.
Yeah, this is darker.
It's still very subtle, though.
It's very subtle.
Yeah. Maybe once you get the first coat of it, you can do another coat.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
But, again, you're trying to save time, right?
Right. This is supposed to save... Well, it's supposed to save money.
Well, okay. When it comes to saving money, the floor wax wins easily.
Hands down.
Sure. But, you still have to buy...
But will it save time?
You still have to buy the paints for the floor wax mixture as well. So.
Yes. Well... But this is true.
That's half the price of one pot, right? You could buy 2 of these for the price of one pot.
Right.
Practically. I mean, not quite. The math doesn't bear out quite that much, so.
All right, so.
I think, although, are they.
You can definitely tell that this is pooling at the bottom.
Yeah.
More than going into the recesses.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's doing some of those shades.
The gravity is too strong.
Yeah. I mean, if I did this. Oh.
Well, that might be what you have to do. Well, I do know when they did the dip before, they would actually dip them in.
Yeah, right? And I've had friends actually do cups and dip.
And they kept them down, face down to do it. So maybe that's the key to it.
So maybe that is the key. Because, see, when I did this...
And you also have to make a lot more of it than that, too, to do that. Because you have to make a whole pot of it. So...
that was interesting.
That part would still cost a lot of money because you have to buy enough to fit an entire miniature in, right?
Yeah, that would make it. But this is kind of interesting how it's still flowing when I do this into those recesses.
Okay.
So that's actually a little better now.
Yeah, it is.
So what I did is I let it. I twisted it around.
It's still more subtle than the contrast.
It's definitely much more subtle.
Yeah.
So you can see it's still kind of flowing around on this axe.
Right.
As I twist it around. And so yeah, that's definitely a very thin. And yeah, it's barely. Definitely like the contrast better right now. Yes. All right, I'm gonna let that guy just kind of hang out.
Just for now, though, we're gonna keep experimenting.
We're definitely gonna experiment more.
Yeah.
And
there's got to be a way to match that effect.
There's got to be. We just got to get the right formula, and maybe it's actually using soft body acrylics mixed with magic dip,
or actual ink, right?
Which I have.
You do have actual ink?
I have actual ink, yeah.
What colors do you have for actual ink?
I have quite a few. I have the whole set of Bombay inks. Bombay
inks are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're acrylic inks, too. So
yeah.
On top of that. So they're compatible with any of these miniature paints that you layer on top of them. Which is kind of important.
Yeah. So I have like a whole 32 set of Bombay inks.
Okay, so we can definitely do one of those experiments next time.
Yeah, because I would use Bombay inks when I would paint silk.
So you want to find a color that's a fairly close proxy to the ones you've used up to this point for those. And then make a magic wash out of that. That would be interesting. Because the inks are definitely going to be thicker. Much thicker pigment.
Yes. Yes.
You know, inks have really good flow and they have really high pigment, which are two really good things to have when you're trying to do a wash.
And it has been recommended to use inks. So I could have just grabbed the inks. They're down there, but I didn't.
Do you want me to look for them and we can just try them now?
I could just grab them. They're down beneath my legs, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we'll just take a little break and a little station break, but I'll keep painting these, priming these guys.
Don't worry, we will keep up. I think
I'm
gonna. So I'm gonna keep the lionkins at this this yellow.
Okay.
I'll finish up this fourth one here.
So you notice I'm putting a little tiny bit of water in this gray seer. You don't want to put more than just a little tiny bit because it this particular kind of paint doesn't want to stick as well when it's a little thinner. This gray seer contrast primer.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it does act differently than the regular.
I was curious how that was sticking to those. Were you having any issues sticking the primer?
Oh, it's just the quality of the paint itself, this type of primer, I believe, because I've had that same problem on other miniatures whenever I've been priming with it. So it's just the quality of that, the way that primer works for some reason. Just a little tiny dab of water. Any more than that tends to want to...
a dab will do you.
Yeah, it's not so much that it turns hydrophobic as much as it just doesn't want to stick quite as well. It doesn't actually bead up or anything. It's hard to explain. Just doesn't quite want to stick as well. I don't know. It's not quite as dramatic as if you're painting like a Reaper miniature and you use any water in your paint. That immediately creates beading up, and it's not fun because you can't really do anything with that.
I find it fascinating how red this yellow is.
Well, and I think, again, I think that's part of the qualities of the plastic itself, because like I said, I'm pretty sure, other than these gray guys, all of them look like they have like almost a semi-translucent quality to the plastic.
Well, you know, but so this like contrast color is coming out very red.
Like you can actually see, you can see, and I can't see through it, of course, but it's translucent, not transparent. Where
well, now it looks orange.
Mm-hmm.
So that one on the end that looks a little bit different.
Yeah.
Is the one
on this end?
No, the other end.
Okay, this end. That's the one that has Agrex?
That one. Nope. That one. Oh, see, I thought it was this one.
No, I can't tell.
You're right. You can't tell.
They've all kind of blended together now.
They have all kind of blended together. Okay, there. You're right. So you can't even tell.
Uh-huh.
This one has the magic dip underneath everything.
Oh, okay. But the contrast covered it up mostly.
It did. It covered it up really well.
Yeah. On the camera, you definitely can't tell. Yeah.
Yeah. Now it looks more orange.
Mm-hmm. Which is fine because you've still got the orange undertone with a yellow-orange mask tone. So now, it still has kind of this quality of it being a yellowish, right?
I'm wondering.
But it's much warmer. Much warmer.
What was the one that I started to do? This one. I'm wondering how that would look on the orcs.
I don't know, because I think that keeping with brown is probably better. Because if you use the same colors for any of your guys, they're going to tend to start to blend together.
You think they'll start looking muddy?
Well, no, they'll start blending together. So, like, if you want to...
So this Flesh Slayer is pretty dark.
Colors, right?
So I might want to use some medium with it.
Okay.
Because let's see how dark it is.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be quite as dark as the other colors we've had problems with contrast. The ones that are the darkest for the brown is Wildwood. It's called Wildwood. It's almost black. So this is
pretty dark.
You shouldn't have that same problem with this.
You don't think so, huh?
No. I mean...
So this one that I did with the magic wash, you can hardly tell.
Yeah.
And the Agrex.
Right. Yeah, you should be able to see a contrast without even having to zoom up on the camera.
Yeah, and you can hardly tell.
That's how you know for sure it's working.
All right, so these guys can... Hold on. I need my tits. Putty tits. So I can get another set going.
Oh, something else I have noticed about these guys is some of their spears are a little warped, and there's a way you can fix that. You just get some warm... has to be fairly warm. It doesn't necessarily have to be super hot water. And you dip it in there, and it should kind of loosen it up a little bit, but then you have to hold it in shape until it cools off. So it's kind of a tedious process, but if you're kind of a perfectionist with those spear points, that's one way you can do it. With the Reaper Bones, you actually get the water really hot, and you get it really hot, and then you dip it in, and it immediately turns into almost like Jello.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is crazy because you're like, oh, did I just ruin the miniature? But no, it's actually like, oh, okay. It almost like wants to go back into its original shape.
Interesting.
Because of the, I forget what it's called now. Tension memory or something like. I can't remember the term, but.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like it kind of wants to fill
so
back into the shape it was. I want to get into this
before I lose it, because it is a contrast color, and it is flesh. It's Fire Slayer flesh.
Okay, cool.
And I'm doing this on the orc, and it's definitely pretty dark.
Let me see. Yeah, it's darker than I thought it was going to be. Do you want to add contrast medium to it?
Yeah, I might. This guy now, what would I be able to thin him on here?
You can dip it in the water just to kind of take it off if you want before it starts drying, but you have to do it like now, probably.
Trying to thin it out a little.
Well, thinning it with water, I'm not sure what's going to happen.
We're about to find out.
Yeah. Because they have said not to do that, so
they've said not to do this, so I'm doing what they said not to do.
Okay.
Oh. try to get it to spread across this guy a little bit more.
There's always ways you can fix that. It's not like you're painting with oils or anything. If you're painting with oils, that's a whole other...
Oh, that's so different.
And I don't even know how you would do it with a plastic miniature.
So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and add some of this technical medium.
Mm-hmm. Because it's looking too dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like a little, right?
Oh, yeah. No, you want to add more than that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, probably about 3 or 4 of those dabs. So more like 3 or 4 dabs will do you on that. Yeah, you want to use a little bit more than it seems like you should with the contrast medium for some reason.
And this just helps with the flow, right?
Well, it thins it out too. It's not just the flow, but it thins it out as well.
Oh yeah. That definitely thinned it.
And you can't necessarily tell immediately until you try it out on the miniature,
right?
Or draw it down on the palette itself. So I'm kind of giving up on that paint stick, and I'm just painting them individually now because I'm like, I'm painting just as fast this way. It's just
each person's a little different.
Exactly.
When it comes to that,
or even just the miniature you're painting,
Ooh, that.
Like this one has a lot of crevices that you can't quite get into.
These do have some crevices. I love that about these miniatures, is they definitely have some crevices in detail.
Yeah, that's what you're wanting to do by doing even just a single color. You just want to bring out the detail.
Right.
And, that's...
And I just lost another orc.
That's just about as close to tabletop as you can get as well. Just like a single color with something like a contrast paint or a wash, the magic wash when we figure out how to do it.
We're going to get that figured out.
And ink, anything like that makes a big difference in, like, okay, now it's actually readable. It doesn't look like, just a random
mass like everything
plastic.
Else.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got 2 more of these guys to paint, or to prime, and then I can start, or 3 more. I dropped one.
I just grabbed my orc with my foot.
And then I can start painting them. Well, you can actually see how much of a difference the priming made. See how much lighter that is?
Oh, yeah.
Than this color here?
And then, so we have a card that shows us an idea on these nomads, and we don't necessarily have to go with it, but we might use it as a general idea.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually have kind of grayish flesh on the card.
Yeah, because I thought they were going to be kind of more like goblins or something.
Yeah.
But then I got a closer look, and then their faces, they have kind of a wild man bearded face. So I guess the gray kind of makes more sense or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because they're the nomads.
They're in the cold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. They're northern nomads.
Which is also interesting because when you look at the fur that they're wearing, it shows it as like a
almost hayish.
Yeah, like a hay yellow color. Yeah.
Which is what I kind of imagined. I did like it came off the hut.
Okay.
Off Gilligan's Island or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I kind of thought that either like a green or that hut color.
Okay. So we're gonna stick with those colors for the.
Yeah.
Okay, for these guys.
I was thinking that.
Kind of keep it simple and
keep it simple.
Okay.
As long as we have those colors.
And, I think we'll probably be able to get to that point of at least starting these guys.
Yeah, I think we have those colors. Gotta finish them too.
Okay. How are we doing on time, by the way?
It's 6.
Okay.
So we're good.
So we passed the hour mark, but we're gonna keep working for a little bit.
We're gonna keep going. We're going until we're done. I'm going until we're done.
Okay.
So, but
yeah.
We can always bring food in or something. So.
Okay.
Dane might need to take a break.
Well, yeah, I can't stay too late, so that's why
This is going quick.
Yeah, we'll definitely be able to get pretty far along with these guys. certainly with the test miniatures, right? Those will be done.
Well, the magic dip ones are done.
Yeah.
And
okay, so in that case, I'll start working on these guys then.
Yeah.
After
I'm gonna as soon as this is done, I'll be starting on another faction.
Okay. Great. I hope you have enough colors to choose from here.
I think we do.
You might be able to use that pink for these guys, the Volupus pink for these guys.
Sure. What the Volupus pink
for these guys because they're kind of pinkish.
Oh yeah.
But I'm just trying to think about the other colors. There's some of them that are not quite. No, I don't know if we have the right color for some of those because there's like a turquoise one that.
I wanted to do the night gaunt. I was hoping that magic dip was going to work so I could use the night gaunt on that. I wonder if I could use the contrast technical with the night gaunt.
Yes. Oh wait, you mean the technical? I'm not sure. I know you could use the medium, the Lamia.
That's
medium.
what I meant. The medium with the night gaunt. If that would make the night gaunt stick better.
It'll help it with the flow. I don't know about sticking, but it'll help it with that.
Well, we'll try that.
Yeah,
then.
It's worth a try.
Yeah, we're gonna try that. All right.
Okay.
So here are my orcs.
Okay.
And
yeah, they look good.
Yeah, they do.
Definitely much more contrast than the the dip.
So this is with the contrast Fire Slayer flesh.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely. And then, want me to hold up one that's got the dip?
Yeah, which I'm gonna have to redo.
So you can see that there's really almost no comparison, really.
Yeah. Just kind of sad.
Well, it's just part one. This is just part one, and you hadn't tried it yet. So.
I know. It just kind of looks glossy. It just kind of looks like it's got a clear gloss to it.
Yeah. Which, I guess...
the paint didn't even stick. So, yeah, it's like the paint didn't even stay with... Yeah, it makes me think we need to use a thicker paint.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that.
So, maybe the shade wasn't the best plan.
The shades are already pretty thin for what they do.
Yeah.
Like I said, the older line they had, they were much thicker, and the pigment wasn't necessarily a much stronger, but there was just something about it. It was really hard to get used to the shades when they came out with them. But what I did discover was the key with the shades was doing more than one coat of them. So they were kind of designed to have a little bit more control, which that's great as soon as you figure that part of it out. That, okay, that's why they're a little thinner. They want you to be able to like control them a little bit better, because sometimes the effect of the washes, which they used to be called, was a little too overpowering.
Right.
So that's why I think that's partially the reason behind it. And I don't think they did a really super good job of explaining what the difference really was. They were just like, oh, this is the color that color, that the color you loved so much is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And they were just like, you just have to deal with it. Like, well,
like,
it's not. It's lighter. It's thinner. It doesn't have the same, oomph to it. And that's because you had to put on more than one coat of it.
Yeah.
So if you did more than one coat of it, it was a little closer to what the original colors were. Particularly that they actually had come out with shade. They made it even more confusing. So there used to be the washes before 2012. And in 2012, when they completely revamped the whole range, they had shades and they had glazes. So the glazes were supposed to kind of like give you a little bit more pigmentation to pretty much any area of a miniature. And, the shades were supposed to give you more value towards a shadow value. So it kind of split up the range a little bit. It's like I said, it gave you more control, but it added steps. So that's what happens.
That is what happens.
They didn't actually simplify it. They actually made it more complicated.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like they made it a lot more complicated.
Mm-hmm. Which is funny because I have noticed with particularly with the Games Workshop range, they've gone back and forth between making things easier and making them more complicated. Just throughout the decades.
Ah! Stand down, orc down, orc down.
Alright, so now I'm just doing kind of some touch-ups of my priming before I start committing to the solid contrast colors that we're going to choose.
Okay.
Just so everybody knows what I'm up to. Has anybody commented yet?
We haven't.
Oh, okay. Kind of quiet this time around.
It has been. We're not normally that quiet.
Maybe it's that whole retrograde thing we're talking about. We're just like getting the silent treatment.
It's all Mercury. Nobody knows how to communicate right now.
Yeah.
It's alright. We don't mind lurkers.
No, lurking is fine. We need more lurkers is what we need.
Yeah, we do.
More of anything.
Definitely. More of everything. Alright, so I'm definitely speed painting. I'm being a little sloppy here with these because...
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Well, that's how I was with the priming here. So, just
but
so
that's
we
okay.
Get those colors in,
Yeah.
Well, actually, speed painting is to your advantage with those contrast paints. Because of the nature of them. But it's like you have to be fast, but you also have to be careful whenever you're doing more than one color. But since you're only doing one color...
I'm only doing one color, so we're okay.
Go for it.
I'm just going to go for it.
Which is really, even more ideal for trying to paint up a whole army in 3 days, right?
Yeah, or less. Like 3 hours.
Or okay.
Like really what we're doing here.
Okay.
But I know we can do it. I know Dane doesn't sound like we can do it, but I know we can.
Well, let's see.
All right, so hand me.
Okay.
Hand me. Well, go ahead and hand me this, and I'll finish this.
Okay. Oh yeah, that sounds good. Yep, and then I will.
And then you can load that up.
I will load one up with some. I'll do the skeletons.
Okay.
Because these guys are primed. We'll save them for last. Maybe I can have you help me get those done.
And you know what? This is okay. This one. Which one was this one?
That was the Fire Slayer Flesh.
Oh, that was the Fire Slayer Flesh again? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, the same one. Yeah, the same one.
Oh, and I have some right here.
Yeah, it's the same color. I didn't realize it was going to be that dark, so that came out nice. It came out really nice. Because I have one... I bought one called Dark Oath Flesh, which is the Dark Oath... are the human, the mortal, the humanoid chaos.
Oh, yeah.
Followers of chaos. So, and they're also the undivided followers of chaos. So, in other words, they haven't decided, I can't decide. There's so many good chaos gods to pick from.
There are.
I just like them all. Why not just, right down the middle,
Yes.
And, well... There's a new game coming out.
Is there?
Another new game, believe it or not. There's actually a new game coming out. Have you heard of Have you heard that sometimes new games come out? It's really weird how that works.
I had heard that might happen.
It's like a thing that could happen.
Really?
This one is called Warcry, and I'm really excited about it, but it's pretty spendy.
Oh?
Even by Games Workshop standards.
Ah.
It's like close to $200 for the starter set.
Wow.
Yeah. But you get 2 war bands, which comprise of anywhere from about 6 to a dozen miniatures, and they tend to be a little bit more higher quality detail wise.
Yeah.
The ones that are for war bands versus just armies, where you've got a bunch of grunts and everything.
Right.
You get 2 war bands. You get the terrain.
Ooh, terrain.
A big thing of terrain, which I think you could probably help me with when I do decide to finally get it.
Definitely.
Yeah, we could do a whole episode just on that.
Definitely gotta do terrain. Yes.
Maybe we'll have to. I'm sure we could paint them indoors, right? We don't have to spray paint it, right?
Oh, well, even if we spray paint it, I figured out a cool hack for an indoor tent.
Seriously?
Spray tent, yeah.
Oh, well, maybe that could
be so you know those little beach things?
Mm-hmm.
When you go to the beach, those little half tents, those little kid tents. You can get one at IKEA for less than $20.
Wow.
You put it on a turntable, and it's a perfect little indoor spray tent.
Perfect. Wow, that sounds fantastic. Maybe that's what we'll have to do then.
Yep. So you can totally do that hack. Have an indoor little spray booth.
Okay, so that's a future episode. Maybe when it cools off a little bit too, though.
Yeah, that might be wise.
Yeah, because that is a thing about spraying, right? That you know about.
Yeah.
Right? The dry heat is not good.
Not at all.
Spraying, right?
No, not at all. It's
right.
Yeah. You need to have. It needs to be cooler. You want it. Between 78 and 80.
So
Perfect.
That's definitely a winter thing then for us.
It really
not
is.
even a fall thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was at night though, you could probably get away with it.
Yeah.
In
the fall.
In like.
Not here
Halloween
in the summer,
time.
but yeah.
Right.
In the fall for sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna do these skeleton guys, and then I'm also gonna do. The Warcry game. It comes with 2 war bands. You know, the rule book, of course. You know, all the cards and everything to play. Which
I thought
standard.
these guys would look really good with Night Gaunt. Do you think?
Maybe. I mean, the skeleton horde is really perfect because
skeleton horde.
Then it's a bone color. You know, it's
that's true. Okay,
it's just too perfect.
Okay.
So I might be able to fit a whole other army on here.
Okay.
But yeah, 2 war bands, terrain, rule book, monsters to fight, even. All of that. So it's a lot of stuff for.
That is a lot.
It's like $170 for that much.
Yeah.
So, and the war bands themselves are $50 each normally. So.
Wow.
So there you go. That's already over half the cost of the entire thing. And terrain is super expensive. Oh my gosh. They were selling. They're also going to sell because they're doing pre-orders like this weekend.
Yeah.
They're going to sell a separate thing of terrain, and just the terrain alone is $100. Wow. Yeah. Because it's how detailed their stuff is. Oh my gosh.
Are they selling STL files by any chance?
Well, they're going to be like the music industry eventually, where they're going to have to, right?
Yep.
They're going to have to do the print at home stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They really are. Once it really, it already has taken off.
Yeah, it has.
Once it becomes even more mainstream.
It really has.
I mean, the way it becomes more mainstream is when people have that as well as it's as common as a microwave.
That's true. Yeah.
That's how it becomes mainstream. So when that happens, they're definitely going to have STL files or whatever the equivalent is in the future. Absolutely.
Well, the way they make it that comment is... So my dad actually helped invent the microwave.
Okay.
And then he helped the Japanese sell it
to
the Americans.
Oh, wow.
And
I didn't know it was invented in Japan.
So then... So the way that they did that is they made it so the American woman would want, every single American woman would want one in her home.
Right.
And I remember this very vividly, actually. And he did that. They did that, I should say.
Yeah.
By convincing the American people that the microwave was for 3 things: reheating leftovers.
Okay.
Which quickly. Making hot dogs for your kids.
Okay.
And popcorn for watching TV.
Okay, well,
and
that's
what the microwave was for.
That's and all become standard stuff.
Yes,
now, right?
Yes, and that you could do those 3 things much faster, easier, and more healthy than you ever could before if you had one of these microwaves.
Right.
And that is how they sold it when it was extrememly expensive.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet it started out like $1,000 or something.
But yeah, like we had the Quasar. My dad worked for Quasar. We had the Quasar microwave that was originally then was sold later, became Panasonic.
I do remember that brand.
Yeah. We had our Quasar microwave from the 70s. We had it all the way up into the 1990s. That's how long that thing lasted forever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
and
that's why they were more
insisted
too.
that the only thing you should ever make in a microwave was reheat your leftovers, make your hot dogs and your popcorn. I was against doing anything else because my daddy said that's all it was good for.
Wow. That's hilarious. Well, because, it hadn't taken over. It definitely hadn't taken over the cooking world.
No, and it didn't brown.
Anybody that cooked, anything other than those 3 things, right? would have been vehemently against using
Well,
it.
and so the convection oven was invented at the same time.
Oh, okay.
As the microwave. And it was a far superior product. Mm-hmm. Just like Beta was far superior over VHS.
Sure.
But...
how do those dwarves look?
Orcs. These are the orcs.
Oh, the little short guys?
Oh, these are the dwarves.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I have to look it up.
They're kind of like Tyrians.
Yeah.
Little Tyrion Lannisters.
They are like little Tyrians.
Yeah,
You're right.
That's the first thing I thought.
You're right. They're looking good. I should have showed them to everybody before I took them off the thing. So.
Yeah.
They
fight and they know things.
Yeah. They actually.
They're a little more barbaric, than Tyrion.
Did really nice.
Got maces, so.
I like the way that they just got some nice highlights on them. Mm-hmm. And shade.
Yeah, no, it makes such a big difference, particularly on, there's a couple of them where it just really makes a difference. The orcs, I think.
Right, I like that contrast.
Pretty huge difference.
All right, so what colors are you going to do on there? I'm going to go ahead and start up another over here.
Yeah, I'm going to give you some here. Let me give you the blue guys.
Give me the blue guys. Yeah, and I like that.
I want you to, I think.
I could dry brush those, I think.
You want to dry brush highlight instead?
I'm thinking maybe.
What do you want to highlight with?
I'm thinking, what do I have that, like a white
There's nothing that's really light.
What do we have?
I only have stuff I only brought my contrast paints. So, check your, you know what, while you're checking your sets, I'm going to take a really quick little break.
Yeah, you go right ahead.
Take a little station break here.
Go right ahead.
I think we will be able to get through this now that I've actually kind of got some eyes on.
Yeah, see, it just took him a minute to realize that we would. And
maybe the leader guy might be a little tricky though.
What I got? Let's see what I got that I could dry brush on there. I needed like a lighter. It just seems to me like that would be quicker to do. Oh, thank you for the refresh on your lurk. Senpai. Don't know why I'm not seeing that refresh up here. But thank you. Alright. Oh, did I just squeeze you? I'm sorry there, Miss Salty. Oh, okay. I have white scar. I could do that. It's a layer paint. Well, I have some Night Gaunt Gloom or Drakenhof Nightshade. Hey! Hey! Sorry, guys. Salty! Salty! Ice Salt! Come here! Ice Salt! Salty! Salty, come here. She's barking at Dane because he's walking.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. It's just Dane. It's just Dane.
Okay. I made it through this time. Okay. So,
oh, and see, you took your flip-flops off. Maybe that helped.
I don't know. It's hard to say. She might even smell of my other dogs, you know?
See, it's just Dane. It's all good.
That might be part of it.
See, it's okay. It's
all
okay.
Right, so so you got some blues here.
So I have some Drakenhof Nightshade
let's see this blue here.
Which blue?
What's this one here? Isn't this a blue?
Let's see.
Yeah, add some white to this. Yeah, I think that might work. Yeah,
little Canter blue.
Make a little custom mix for your dry brushing, and then while you're doing that, I'm gonna do my guys over here. So I'm doing the skeletons with Skeleton Horde. Go figure. I'm doing these bird dudes with Griff Charger Gray, and it's kind of like a blue green, blue green gray, green blue gray,
yeah,
green gray blue, and then I'm doing these kind of pinkish flesh color. They kind of look like pirates because they got cutlasses. I'm doing that with Volupus Pink. So those are all the contrast colors here. Skeleton Horde, Griff Charger Gray, Volupus pink. So,
okay.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do for these guys. And I'm actually just going to work straight out of the pot rather than going into the...
That's probably wise.
Yeah, just to kind of speed things up just a little bit. And just got to be really careful when you do it that way.
My white scar is really thick.
But then I'm just going to slap that stuff right on just as I'm working. So this is where you can really use that rack pretty effectively here. You see what's happening with that contrast. It's like, oh yes, this is good stuff. Love it. And I'm actually just going to work front to back this time, I think, just to kind of change things up a little bit. And that way I'm holding this the whole time. Kind of keep a control over that pooling, though. You know, you do want to keep an eye on that pooling. You don't want it to get too out of control. Of course, in the deepest recesses, you're going to have that happen.
Right.
Kind of let it just stay. But if it's kind of like hanging off, that's how you know there's too much there. So you want to go back in and grab it. And like I said before, you really only have about around 10 seconds to really fiddle with this too much. So you really don't want to do past that point for this contrast paint.
Okay, let's see what
and
we got here.
You also notice I'm using a really big brush too, so this is kind of like a really good contrast brush. That is another thing I think people had trouble with was when they were working with this new paint, was they were trying to treat it like every other paint. Because, oh, you know, it's just a wash. It's just ink. It's like,
right.
It really isn't. I mean, you gotta believe me, guys. It's different. It's a little different.
Don't believe them, get it yourself and try it.
And that's, you know, and that's very possibly what the floor wax will do. You know, just that you just need a little bit more pigmentation to it.
Yeah, yeah.
And which is just thicker paint, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that paint was just a little on the thin side.
Yeah, it could be a little on the thin side, exactly.
Yeah. And that has to do with how Games Workshop decided to define the word shade or wash. You know,
dry brush. Here it is.
That has a lot to do with it. So every company tends to have a different definition for those types of things.
This is very true.
You know, any of the art terms, you know, you think about that. But, you know, you can see I'm already getting some really good contrast here.
Yes,
I'm going to do this last one, and I'm going to show what I've been doing this whole time.
So, this is a little darker, this blue.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm trying to show it. The miniature here is darker. That's why...
So, you're going to highlight instead.
Yeah, but
that's
I don't know if this is going to be light enough. We'll see. The blue I made. Should I add more white?
Tiny bit more. Just in case.
Okay.
Yeah, because since you're not getting a shadow as well as a highlight, you want your highlight to be a little bit more stark. Just to make sure. Okay, I'm gonna do the other side in just a minute. But you see those skeletons came out. Look at how they came out. Isn't that great?
Oh yeah.
So you can, even from that distance, you can see the difference. Okay, so I'm gonna do the other side same way. Just gonna hold the whole entire group of them. This is where you want to be careful with your brush work because they are on, you know, just with those. They're just held together by those tits, so
exactly.
You gotta be kind of careful. They're not a perfect way of doing this, but
all right, we're gonna try this.
They are. It works. It does work. So
I think this will be enough. And if we don't like it, then we'll just do it. We'll just wash over it.
Yep, exactly.
But for some reason, I was like, oh, I think this will be better with a. I think these darker ones will do better with a dry brush.
Okay.
But we're gonna find out.
I agree with that assessment. It's better to highlight something that's darker than to try to make it even darker.
Yeah.
That's the thing about that. Got to keep an eye on some of those differences there. I got a really big pool of that color. I'm just going to let it flow on the base to kind of get it out of the way of the miniature. And as I can already tell, it's getting sticky, this paint. So that's how quickly this paint works. I almost want to say, I mean, it doesn't have alcohol in it. That's not even... I don't see how that would be possible to use. Well, there is an alcohol-based acrylic, actually. It's Tamiya. Have you heard of that brand?
I haven't.
So they make paints, and I think they even make war game, like historical battle war game. I think they make miniatures too. And for just historical though.
Yeah.
But they have these clear colors.
Yeah.
And they're really interesting things because that was another theory when people were trying to figure out what these contrast paints are actually made out of. Another theory was that they were the same kind of composition as the Tamiya paints. Because they have some of the similar qualities. Particularly, there's a couple of colors in particular that are like that. There's one that's called Smoke. And it's... I messed with it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's a very, very translucent brown gray. And it kind of has an unusual kind of finish to it because it's very shiny too. All right, well, I'm done with the skeletons.
Awesome.
So how about that?
That is awesome.
I'm gonna let them dry because I don't want to have the possibility of them moving around or me touching one of them when I'm painting these guys, the next row.
Oh, okay. But
so you can see the advantage of having them all kind of lined up. So it's like, okay, I'm done with this one. Let it dry. Move on to the next one, and
right.
So on. How's that looking? Your highlights?
I think it's looking good. I got a little bit too much on the first shield, but okay. I did better on the second one.
Well, again, if the highlight's not enough, you can always go back in with higher highlights, or you can wash it wash it down so that way you get those shadows that you would want. And in that case, you could probably just use the Drakenhof Nightshade rather than using a contrast paint.
Right.
Because it's thin enough that you can just slap that on there and it won't...
And I probably might.
It won't eat up the...
I might do a little wash over it if I think it's just a little bit too much highlights. Yeah. But
oh, no, that looks good. No, that looks good. I like
how it's bringing out the armor here.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah.
And ironically... Well, I wouldn't say ironically, but oddly enough, this is a warmer blue, and the highlights you're doing is more of a cooler blue.
Yes.
So it creates kind of a weirdness to it when you have a highlight that's cooler than a highlight that's cooler than your colors underneath, because you're kind of going the opposite direction of the warm and cool principle.
Right.
So it's really good for like ghosts or something like. So this is something you could actually carry over to your ghosts if you wanted to.
Yes, to the spectrals.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. When you get to those.
When we go to the back to zombie side, which will be next episode.
Yep. That's the plan. Okay, so I'm still waiting for these to dry.
We just segued over to this because we have our big HoLAs game on Friday.
Well, we can do what we want. It's our show.
That's right.
Yeah.
We can say, oh, hey, let's just do this and surprise everybody. Wait. Look what we're doing.
We'll always take requests, too. So
that's true. If all of a sudden... Oh, and in fact, I haven't heard from him, but there was a gal... I'm a member of the Blue Ribbon Army.
Yes.
And I don't know if you are, too. I think.
No.
Oh, okay. You should be. It's a great group. Anyways, there was...
That's how you get tickets for Comic-Con, right? I mean, Fan Fusion.
Actually, no, but it is a group that volunteers for them.
Right.
Yeah. And so, anyways, there was a gal whose son, who is an adult disabled man with Tourette's syndrome and I believe autism.
Okay.
He has a very large miniature who I think it was given to him. I only read the post briefly, but anyways, somebody had promised to paint it for him and then fell through. And so she was looking for someone who would paint or commission that they could pay.
Oh, and then, okay, I can do it for money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll paint for money.
But then Lizzie, who is on my Real Girls cosplay, had put out that we could do it on Happy Little Miniatures, too.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And so I said, yeah, of course we could. If you wanted us to do it on Happy, we could do that. And she was like, well, but I don't know about our language on our show. And she's like, she's got Tourette's. I don't think the language is going to be an issue.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So she hasn't gotten in touch with me or anything.
Sure.
But if you are watching, we would love to paint your mini.
Yeah.
And or Dane could do it for commission, too.
How big is it? Do you know?
I'm not sure, but I think it was like a big dragon or something like that.
I've never painted a big dragon before, so...
So,
it'd be a way to find out how to do it.
It would it would be really fun. We'd have a blast doing it, and we'd even have him on the show if he wanted to come on the show.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
And yeah, that would be really fun. And so yeah, that would be super fun. So if you are watching, and or if you watch us on Video on Demand and you're checking us out, we would love to paint the miniature for you, and you know, we could do it as a special show, or we could do it during, you know, one of our you know, you tell us how you want it painted, or we can discuss it with them, anything y'all want. Or anybody else that has something like that, where they have a miniature like that, and they're like, oh, you know, I really just want this painted, or I'd really love to see how you guys would paint this. Get in touch with us on our Facebook, or our Instagram, or our Twitter, or our Twitch. Get in touch with us. And
we do some shout outs for that, how to get a hold of us.
It's all under GirlzgameToo. Google it.
Yep.
With a Z, TOO.
Okay.
And go ahead and get in touch with us, or Daintist on his, if you want to commission Dane.
That's gonna be my handle on Instagram.
And we will definitely hook you up. Gladly. We'd love to have you on, or to take care of your miniature for you and make it a happy little miniature.
Yeah, do you have a technique you want to share with us? You know, something like that? Or
a
technique you want us to try out?
Yeah, is there something in particular you want us to show you? Yeah, I do have an expert here.
There's a lot of ways to do that, for sure.
Okay, so now this one I got a little crazy on, so this one I might for sure need to do a wash on.
Your skeletons are almost dry already, believe it or not. So it only took about 10 minutes? I don't know.
All right.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, these are going nice and quick.
And I'm doing the birds now.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, so...
These birds are Griff Charger
gray. And I believe these are the humans. The blue ones are the humans.
Okay.
And so...
The regular mortals.
Yes, the mortals.
Yes.
So you can see... I'm hoping you can see if it's going to show it here real quick. I set it for a minute. Well, it's not focusing in. But you can kind of see there that dry brush.
I can see from here, yeah. So
so there's some...
If you did want to take it further, you could always do...
Well, I'm debating about that, actually.
Yeah, you could always do...
doing that...
Just pure white, and then just do very lightly dry brush.
Yes.
If that's what you wanted to do.
Yes, I could totally do that. And I'm going to go ahead and... I think I will do a real quick wash on it.
Okay.
Because I think the dry brush is already dry.
So if you do that, you probably want to do the Drakenhof.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's what I would suggest.
Just yeah, and I'm just going to take it straight out of the pot. And this is why I have all of these things right here, so I can just grab a brush.
Okay.
I couldn't even think of the word.
There you go. Well, you know, you're multitasking, so...
Exactly.
So it's almost always going to be divided attention, right?
Yeah.
So that's when they say undivided attention. It's kind of hard to multitask and have undivided attention at the same time.
It kind of is.
So kind of a thing. Whoop! One of my guys fell.
Uh-oh.
Bird down.
Bird down, bird down!
I think he's okay, though, because I'm just going to grab him. This guy's got some details on the inside that are a little fiddly, so I'm just kind of double checking that I'm getting them before I move on to the next ones. These bird guys are pretty cool. I like them.
Yeah, the bird folk. I call them the angels. When we're playing, I'm like, it's the angel folk.
Yeah, they're pretty cool, and they're really picking up the contrast paint really well, and that's definitely because they are so detailed texture-wise because of their feathers.
Oh, yes.
So that's another thing about this contrast paint is it's not going to show up on something like a Space Marine as well because they have lots of flat panels of their armor.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So even an armored character, it's got to be more like armor that has a lot of texture on it. So you want to really focus on those if you're going to do anything with contrast. Your contrast paint. So I'm switching out the skeletons with these what appear to be goblin musketeers.
I think the green... I need to look. I think the green guys are goblins.
Yeah, they've got like little muskets or something, like almost like little shotguns, really. So there's definitely kind of a little fantasy steampunk happening, I'm guessing, in this game a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Gunpowder.
Yeah.
Gunpowder technology.
Oh yeah. Definitely have that a little bit. Okay, yeah, I'm liking the Drakenhof Nightshade wash on this.
Great.
As a darkening up for the HoLAs.
So I'm going back in with some of this just a little bit because, like I said before, they're a little hard to get into the corners on these guys. So you want to, if you decide you want to paint these with contrast, just keep that in mind. You're probably going to just have to take them off the base at some point.
So now this one I didn't do with contrast.
Okay.
These
right.
I didn't do
a
with contrast.
little different because it was very dark. So you already had too much contrast for what you wanted to get done.
It did. Mm-hmm. So I did in a way I contrasted it. I just didn't do them with the contrast colors.
Exactly. So there's a couple extra steps, So
it was 2 steps.
Yeah. Instead of 1.
Yeah.
Which is, that's not bad, right?
Right. But it basically tells you the difference of, but I'm not sure what contrast color I could have done this with.
Right. Without getting too dark.
That I would have gotten this effect.
Exactly.
Because you'll see when I'm finished what I got out of this. Mm-hmm. I got this really nice dark effect in my hollows.
Right.
And a lighter pop for my highlights, which is what the contrast colors supposedly are supposed to do for you.
Mm-hmm. And this is almost like you're mopping this color on, and this particular color, this Griff Charger Gray, looks really dark until it starts settling, and then it starts getting a little lighter. Mm-hmm. It's very similar to how the Warp Lightning happens that I was talking about, where it just looks like, oh, this green is just so dark, and then it starts kind of lightening up as it seeps into the kind of settles into the miniature itself, the details of it.
Yeah.
And you do still want to keep an eye on that pooling because of these big areas where the wings are. That's where I was getting a lot of pooling happening. So just keep an eye out on that. And I'm just going to try to do all 3 of these in one go. And what's another thing that's really interesting about this paint, and I'm probably repeating myself a lot at this point, but you want to put on more than it seems like there should be.
Yes.
And then that's when you can kind of make your adjustments and start drawing back, taking some of it out if it's too much. Because it does start settling, and then it acts differently once it starts doing that.
So, this, let's see if you can see what it's doing. See, I don't like that the camera changes it.
The stalker cam? Or that's not the stalker cam?
No, it's not the stalker cam, but...
That's the one that's no longer with us?
Yeah, the good stalker cam's no longer with us until I can afford to get a new one. But, see, it's hard to see the difference. Kind of doesn't look like we did anything.
Well, it's also like I was saying about mass tone undertone. So what the camera is seeing is basically just one color because it's a liar.
It's really lying because I want you to see how well it's beautiful, and you can almost see it. Oh, you know what?
I'll be able to take some pictures later. So
yeah, we'll have to do that.
Yeah, I'll take a picture like next to the pots for each of these colors. So I'll take one of these home and then take the pots with me.
You guys can see it there, I bet.
Is it still wet?
It's still a little wet, yeah.
Okay. That might be part of it.
So.
Yeah, you can kind of see it's, but when it's the wet paint, it's like it still looks dark.
Yeah.
Even though it's not.
So, well, there is some darkness to it. See. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's like in areas that, you know, it wouldn't necessarily show up quite that dark.
Right. All right. So we're gonna close that off. Then we're just zooming along. All right. So, I will continue on the warriors, and we need to probably start on the nomads.
Yes. So, what we could do is like...
Or do you want me to get started on them?
Well, yeah. Sure, if you want to. You can start with the cloaks and then do those. Because we know that that's going to be skeleton horde for sure.
Oh, the cloaks are going to be skeleton horde?
Yeah, that hay color.
Oh, okay.
Right, right?
Okay.
That's what we had talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what we should go with.
Okay.
Yeah. And these birds are pretty much done. It looks like.
Yeah.
So we've already moved on to...
Or unless you want to do them, and I'll get going on these. These two factions.
Sure.
I can do that.
Yeah, sure.
Let's do that.
Either way.
Yeah. And then, so you're doing the... What are you going to do on the green? Are you doing that green on the on the goblins?
Yeah, the warp lightning.
Okay.
For the goblins. That was the plan.
Okay.
Oh, jeez. That's the problem with taking these off while they're still wet.
I know.
I think this is going to be good enough, though. It'll be fine. Okay.
Those guys are dry.
Alright. Here, let me go and put these purple guys on here. And then all we'll have left after that are the kind of turquoise color guys. I don't know if we have a good turquoise,
I think those are like the merfolk, aren't they?
I'm not sure.
So...
Okay, there we go. So...
We might do a highlight on them, too.
This is for the goblins.
Okay.
Warp lightning. I'll go and give that to you. Oh,
okay.
Yeah, make sure to close that. This doesn't spill. There we go.
Warp lightning.
Yeah, and that'll be a really nice effect for those green guys. Because that's one of my favorite colors when it comes to the new contrast. They knew what they were doing with some of these colors especially. Okay, so I'm going to get started on the nomads. So, let me go and do the...
Uh-oh.
What?
We completely overbooked the Thursday scythe game.
Oh, okay.
This is not good. I think that means I'm out.
Okay. I don't know what that means. So.
Well, I just got a message about it.
Oh, okay.
Why don't you get some sleep and just go?
Okay, so since I'm using the skeleton horde and I'm doing the...
Told you, man, I was out.
The animal skins, I'm going to get out a bunch of paint for that. Is that a big enough brush for you?
So, this might be a little too green. Too thick. Look what's happening.
It's going to dry lighter, though. So
will it?
Yeah, that's what happened with these guys. With the the bird guys.
Okay.
It should dry lighter.
It's almost seems opaque-ish.
Well, it's the same kind of paint that... I mean, did you mix it up really good?
I just took it straight out of the pot.
Oh, no. You might need to mix it up really good. Sometimes it doesn't want to... See, it already looks lighter now.
Well, yeah, on the back it does. On the front it's still...
Is it... Okay. Well, you can also grab some contrast medium, too.
Yeah.
Here, see if you can throw some of that in there. See if that'll kind of thin it out a little bit while it's still on there. It should start lightening up though as it dries too.
The contrast medium definitely helps.
Okay. Good. Yeah, because that's one of the lighter colors, so it definitely shouldn't show up quite that dark. Okay, so that's actually what happens with the skeleton horde color too as well, is it looks pretty dark and then it dries. As you put it, more of a hay color. It really is kind of that kind of color. And so that's what I'm going to put on all of these animal pelts here. It's a pretty
Oh,
large...
hey, Melissa. Hey. Oh, hey. Hey, we got all sorts of people.
Yay.
Hi, Silvers. Hi, Melissa.
Did we get a raid coming?
I think we did. We
Nice.
got raided.
That's great.
We got all sorts of people in here now. Hi,
Hey,
guys. How did I not notice we're sitting here painting? I didn't even notice y'all. Hi. Hey, I think that, let me look. Yeah, Heart Board Games raided my channel. Hi, Heart Board Games. Welcome. Hey. Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah, luckily it just happened 2 minutes ago, so I only missed it for 2 minutes. We're sitting here going crazy painting. So we are painting HoLAs. We're batch painting HoLAs here with the contrast paint. Hi guys, welcome. And I was actually having issues with my contrast paint, so I was adding a little medium straight on to the miniature, and it actually helped quite a bit. Yeah. To add it straight on to the miniature.
Before it dries.
Before it dries.
That's always the thing with this paint.
Yes. You know? Yes. Thank you for the raid. Hi, guys. Welcome.
So I'm painting some nomads with the contrast paints. This is the ones we actually spent a little bit more time on. So we actually primed these guys
exactly
ahead of time, so that way they would, the colors would show up a little bit differently. Well, and they were also dark gray, so you can't really do anything with contrast paint with dark gray. So
yeah, that was a little bit difficult to do.
Just like your dark blue guy. So you had to go with highlights instead.
I did the highlights instead, and then did a dark wash of Drakenhof Nightshade, which I think actually turned out pretty good.
Yeah,
it was hard to see though.
Yeah, it's a little harder to see when it's a little bit more of a subtle.
Alright, so these goblins are like the smallest ones, and so they...
You're going through them pretty fast?
Actually, I think they're harder because they're smaller. But
okay.
Because I feel like I'm being sloppy otherwise. If I don't take a little, I don't know.
Well, this is a weird kind of like hurry up but also slow down if you're doing multiple colors especially.
Yeah.
It's kind of
It is kind of a weird hurry up and slow down kind of thing.
Yeah,
you're right.
That kind of rhythm. Yeah, and I'm using Skeleton Horde over Greyseer, so it's kind of got a little bit of a muted effect versus if you used the Wraithbone, it would definitely be more of like an actual kind of bone hay color, like we were talking about. But this is gonna be a little more subtle, I think.
Yeah, that's definitely a little more subtle, but I still like it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and this is I'm working from the largest area to the smallest. And I figured that's probably what's going to work for me for using contrast paints.
Yeah, I think that's wise. And there's definitely a method to my madness putting him on the nomads. Because he's a better painter.
Well, I don't have my magnifying glass, though.
Oh, no.
But I'm going to do what I can. I'm definitely going to do what I can.
Well, I can bring out the light with the magnifier.
I think I'll be okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'll be okay. So, once we get those guys done, the only ones we're going to have left are those turquoise color guys. And I don't know. Maybe even the Griff Charger might work for that. I don't know. Oh, you have a dark green, don't you? I forgot you do.
A dark green.
Yeah, for the contrast paints.
Did I get a dark green?
I believe you did. Yeah, I think it was the Dark Angels green.
Oh, I think I did. Where did that go?
It's over there. Yeah, thought that's what I was.
Yes, I did. I got a Dark Angels green.
There we go. So you could probably use that, but you want to thin it down though for sure.
Yes.
Because that's one of those colors like the Shyish purple, purple. It's like almost black.
See, do you have your Shyish purple?
I do.
I think the Shyish purple might work on the lizard folk.
Okay.
Yes.
You use that instead.
Yes. Let's do the Shyish purple.
Okay.
I might have to medium it down a little.
Oh, you definitely will. Yeah, you definitely will.
Yeah,
for sure.
But, yeah.
I'm going to get it right now. Oops.
Okay.
Well, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, otherwise, what were you thinking? The Magos?
I was, but the Magos is more of a reddish purple. But that's actually how those guys look. They do look reddish purple, but it might not be enough of a contrast, though.
That's why I was thinking the shyish.
You know, the whole reason that you're doing it. Yeah.
Highish.
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking. The shoosh. All right. So, and then we were thinking the voluptuous pink. Now, were we gonna thin out the voluptuous?
No, you don't need to for that one.
All right.
Yeah,
so
it'll show up good on there.
Should I do the voluptuous next, or should I do the shyish purple next?
Oh, well, you probably just want to go like that,
go
right?
Straight down?
Yeah.
Go straight down the line.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, I'm going to take the shyish purple first. I'm going to
mix it up really good, too. These are... I have noticed these are really...
You're welcome.
Pretty fussy about mixing the paints on these in particular.
Thank you for following Heartboard Games. Thank you for hosting us.
Just kind of making sure I get all of these little areas on these.
Thank you for the follow Melissa Sings. Alright. Woohoo! I got that mixed. Alright, I'm going to add some medium here. And I'm going to put the medium out here.
So you probably want to use quite a bit of medium for that shyish.
Okay. So, a little bigger than a quarter.
Yeah, that should be good, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's the medium, and here comes the shyish purple.
Alright, so still working on these pelts. Actually, I should use a larger brush. Just was talking about you want to use a larger brush with this stuff.
Don't need a lot.
It all depends on how much detail you're working with too, right?
Now I probably have way too much paint.
Larger surface area. How much paint did you put in?
Like 3 or 4 drops.
You put a lot more of the contrast of the medium in, right?
I put quite a bit of medium.
Okay, you should be good then.
We might be able to use this on a different one, another 5 miniatures too.
Well, on this guy, there's only like one little area that's even purple at all, and it's more of a reddish purple. But we could use it. It's just straps on his.
Yeah, we could just use this.
Yeah.
Why not?
Right.
Doesn't have
to be identical.
Yeah, you can tell I got contrast in this.
I mean, if we were getting paid for it, it would be different, right? Okay, it's got to be that color.
Right. Oh, yeah, if it was commission.
Sure. Yeah, I've only had one commission so far, and it was somebody who's actually a collector.
Oh, wow.
And they collect, like, out of print, out of production, tons of out of production miniatures. And he said, do whatever you want. I just want red and black. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
I'll make that work. And then I showed him, progress or whatever. He's like, wow, they sure is dark. They sure are dark. And I said, well, yeah, black, right? That's half of the color scheme. It's definitely going to be pretty dark.
Right.
You can't really highlight black very much. You can only go so far.
Especially with red.
Right.
I mean, red and black, those are pretty dark colors.
Well, it was a darker red, yeah. So I mean,
yeah.
I also didn't want to go too bright with the red,
No.
It's a balance. It really is. It's just they were totally fine with how it came out, but I just thought it was funny.
Those are down.
It was just funny that was one of the comments about it.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So, I'm hoping for more commissions, so I can learn.
Oh yeah.
Learn more things. About that whole process, because it's definitely a different way of painting.
Because you can't just do whatever you want.
Yeah, well, and I started getting really overboard with detail, and I was like, realized that I had spent more time on it than I really needed to.
Oh, yeah?
Because he wasn't really concerned with it being super detailed.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's another thing to really keep in mind.
But I guess that's going to be dependent on the person.
Exactly.
Because some people probably will be more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was kind of part of that, too. It's like I didn't want them to think that I didn't spend an amount of time that was appropriate.
Right.
So I kind of overcompensated a little bit. All right, so we've got 5 of them done, and then there's 10 total. 10 of these dudes.
Well, that's awesome.
So
we're zooming through those.
Mm-hmm. And I think you're going to catch up to me, so when you do...
Then I can do 5 while you do 5.
Yeah, so maybe that's what... I'll just stick to that, actually. Yeah. I'll just stick to that plan. So I'm going to just do these 5 and then move on to the next color. Probably a good idea.
Well, you could keep up with the colors, or you're only going to do 5 at a... Oh.
Yeah, that way I can...
Oh, right? Okay, and then I can try to catch up.
And then, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how we can do it, because these are almost all done here. And if I finish early, I can do these guys.
Okay. That works.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let me see. There's there. And then that way I can move on to... Gotta let it dry a little bit, looks like.
Oh. Well, then you could work on the cloak on the other 5.
Yeah, I can start.
Are those dry?
I had one started already, so I might as well.
Might as well. Might as well. I need to keep an eye on that chat so I don't miss another group.
Oh yeah. So have we had any comments or anything? Or
no. Well, we had a bunch of hype and hugs and love when they first came in, and we haven't had any comments since.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that they're paying attention and watching. And
yeah, if you have any questions or like comments or anything, just so you know what we're working on, that kind of thing.
So we're gonna be playing this game on Friday, hopefully with 7 players. I'm hoping we have a Gambling Games representative that's going to be coming in.
Okay.
That's our plan. And I believe I have the 7 players all, even if Gambling Games doesn't show up, hopefully. I hopefully have a backup. But if not, we'll have 6 players. We for sure have our 6 players. And so then we'll play... it'll be at 7 o'clock, and we're gonna do a raffle. Yeah. And raffle off some stuff from My Sandbox Gaming.
Great.
Which you can check them out at www.mysandboxgaming.com, and you can get 10% off your entire order with coupon code GirlzgameToo. And you can do that right now.
Perfect.
Yeah. And where did that lizard folk go that fell? Get a drink when I drop. Where did he go? Oh, there he is. He's down there between.
Oh boy, I didn't see this right. There's like a blue underneath that. Well, I can always go back in.
What's wrong?
Oh, it's the details,
What did we miss?
Oh, I didn't miss it. I colored it the wrong color, but.
Oops.
I mean, kind of. It's not like it's really the wrong color. I'm gonna go ahead and do the spear staff and the loincloth with that same skeleton horde color. Just because.
Okay.
I mean, trying to cut down on, steps, that's kind of the whole point.
Right. Yeah, well, we don't necessarily have to do every color that they have.
Right.
It's just a suggestion.
Well, and like I said before, when we were working on these to begin with, is, you don't necessarily have to be worried that this is a done thing. I mean, you can always go back in and
oh, right.
do more details.
Yeah, we're just trying to get them to the table.
Exactly.
We're trying to get them so they look semi-good for the table for Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So we can distinguish warriors from serfs. And we have all our major players nicely painted. Because I did get a painted set, so all my warriors and mercenaries and everything were painted. and heroes, except for the nomads.
Right.
Game and Gains, what's up? And so I was like, well, damn, now I got to, oh, wow, yeah, that green did go a lot lighter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, isn't that strange?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of colors like that.
They did dry a lot lighter than I anticipated.
I think their blue is kind of like that, too.
Wow. I have a lot of Shyish Purple if you want to put some Shyish Purple on him.
Okay. I'll be able to find some place to put it,
I think we need to find some place.
Is it real thinned out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good. That's just the right consistency, because otherwise it would have been, like, almost black.
Yeah, no, it's very thinned out.
Good.
Just so y'all can see.
Yeah, so you can see that, like, okay, it's actually coming out.
That's the Shyish Purple on the lizard folk.
The purple coming through, and it's still drying.
And so that's the green on the goblins. And I maybe didn't need to thin that out as much as I did.
It's okay. It still has much more contrast than it did before.
And then I can come straight out of the pot now.
That's the whole plan.
For the voluptuous pink.
Yes. That should be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so these
you're right.
spears.
Straight out of the pot. Yeah. All right, voluptuous pink.
All right, so
here we go. Okay. Well, we do have 7 viewers.
Great. Welcome.
Welcome everybody who's watching.
Just painting these guys up. Primed this one gray sear contrast primer, and I'm just painting in details that are skeleton horde color, which is like kind of it's supposed to be a bone color. Obviously.
I'm excited to see what this voluptuous pink does. So I'm gonna do these on. I don't know what the pink. I need to look and see what the pink guys are. Ooh.
Okay, so all those colors are...
Alright, well this seems really dark, but we're going to see because I thought the green was really dark and then it ended up being light, so...
Yeah. Well, even the... just keep in mind you got to make sure to keep moving and don't let it...
Right.
Yeah, don't let it pool. That's really the main thing. Oops, I need a little bit more than that. Okay. Alright. So we've got these loincloths we're doing here. Almost.
There's a lot of detail on these guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, more than it seems like, until you actually start painting them.
Right.
And then it changes things up.
Whoa, shook!
Okay. Well, that's one way to lose paint.
Okay. Crap and crud.
We don't have any way to pick it up.
We don't have a
either.
dropper, do we?
No, we don't.
Oh, darn it.
Here, I got it.
No.
Well, use that paint.
Yeah, I'm going to use that paint. I just want to make sure it doesn't go through to the game.
Yeah.
Thingy.
Because it stains.
Yeah, it stains. So I'm definitely going to use the paint. I'm just going to get onto these miniatures really quick here.
Yeah, if we did have a dropper, we could
grab it with the dropper.
Let me just get this.
And put it back. So that's the problem with going straight out of a pot. I'll buy you another one.
Oh, no.
So sorry.
No.
and then losing the entire...
I just don't want to make... I don't want...
pot of paint.
I'm just trying to keep it from making a mess.
I think it will be okay.
Okay.
Now that I got it above.
Is it drying lighter? I still...
Not yet.
Yeah.
But you know what? I might do a highlight.
Yeah, you might have to on some of these.
I might have to do a highlight on this one.
I'm sure I can find a way to pick up almost all of it. There really wasn't that much, but I don't. That's the only thing I'm not being able to figure out here. Just maybe
You'll find a way.
Maybe even one of these could.
Go for it.
Kind of scoop it up a little bit. It's not really going to do anything. It's not quite thick enough to pick up this way. If I had brought my eyedropper, I wouldn't even blink.
Yeah, I would just be grabbing the jar because I've done this before.
Honestly, yeah, and with an eyedropper,
I've totally done this before.
It's really nothing when you have an eyedropper.
And he was like, "Oh, no problem," and just grabbed his eyedropper and cleaned it right up. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need to make sure I have an eyedropper because this is not the first time I've done this." And yeah, and I knew it would eventually happen on a stream. I knew that would happen.
That's the
so comment if you've done that.
That's the funniest part is like anything with suction would completely solve this problem.
I know, right? Well, we could use a straw.
I don't have no.
Use our own suction.
I'm not going to be able to try to suck that up. No, there's no way. There's no way I would want to even try. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try to pour it.
It's definitely not drying lighter.
I'm going to sacrifice the shyish and then just try to pour it back in the...
Well, this isn't the shyish, is it? Is that
no,
what it's spelled? This is the... Oh!
That's what I mean by sacrifice, is that it's going to pour all of it, right? So I'm just going to have to pick up the rest of it. The rest of the shyish. And
see what you're saying.
Yeah, and then the floor wax stuff.
And hope that you don't get that in there.
It won't.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take all of them out except for that one. It's actually not that much of the shyish anyway.
No.
It seems like it is because of all the medium in it.
Right. But it's not.
Yeah. So I'm going to carefully walk this over to your kitchen so I can just kind of pour it in.
Okay.
And then whatever I lose, I lose.
You might find a funnel in there.
That's alright.
In the kitchen.
It's not quite enough to bother with a funnel, you know? It's
yeah.
It's actually not that much paint because there's not even that much paint in the pots, you know?
Yeah, because more paint actually ended up on here, too. Alright, so this voluptuous pink is very, very dark. And very obscuring.
You know what? I can't...
What?
Look for something to kind of scoop into that.
Oh.
It doesn't actually want to pour out, so...
Really? That's
weird. It's got a divot in it, so that way it keeps it from pouring out.
Oh.
Ironically enough.
Do you see anything you can use to scoop here?
Maybe this.
Okay.
Yeah, just kind of scrape it back into the... So that way it's in one part of the container and not both.
Yes.
That's the thing. They're both trying to spill out at the same time.
Ah. Alright, so y'all see how dark these are? So now my light pinks look like super dark pinks. Mm-hmm. So what I might do is a light, once they're dry, if they're still this dark, I might do a highlight brush on those. A highlight dry brush. Yeah. Because, wow. Those are dark. So, I feel bad about all this paint. Can I use any of it on these nomads?
I don't know.
Can we use it on the bandages?
Yeah, maybe.
Because I actually think that it's dark enough.
Yeah, let's see how it looks.
That's what I'm going to do. So we spilled this voluptuous pink. So we're trying to find places we can use it. Since we have it spilled. And this guy's got some bandages on his feet that in our picture are kind of purpley. And so I think we're going to go with that, yeah.
Is Salty asleep?
No, not at all.
Oh. Surprised. She seems fairly quiet right now.
I know, she didn't bark.
Mm-hmm.
Good girl.
Are you doing the bandages with that color?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm doing the bandages.
Okay, so I might as well do that too. On both sides or just... Oh yeah, there's two sides, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to do those real quick. Although it's kind of breaking my rule of
I know.
trying to do one color.
Well, if you want, I could just do all the bandages.
Sure. As I'm doing the...
Yeah.
Here, I'll just give you this one too.
As you're doing you're doing the other color, and I'll just do all the bandages.
Okay. Sounds good. There's still a bunch of paint in here. Would you rather just use the palette now? I mean, that's kind of messy to use.
Well, I'll just use this that's in front of me.
Okay.
Since I have it in front of me, and
I couldn't really get that much out, so it's really not that much paint, even though it seems like it is. When it's that thin, it you know, of course it's going to seem like it's more than it really is. I almost always, if I ever spill any, it's almost always the ones that spill the most, which are the washes.
Oh, and I'm just notorious for spilling my favorite colors, and yeah. And yeah, the washes.
Well, it's because you use them the most, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just the odds. The odds are higher.
Exactly.
This is still drying? Oh my gosh. This is, I think it must have pulled up way too much.
Which one is that?
The bird. I did it
oh, wow.
probably half an hour ago at least.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they should be totally dry by now. It's just that one little section there. I was just checking on the pooling, and I definitely still got pooling, even though I checked on it. Jeez. That's okay, though, I guess. It's just, you think, okay, it's been plenty of time. It's going to be dry by now.
You'd think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of find it fascinating.
What's that?
That this voluptuous pink looks a lot more purple.
Well, and then the purple looks too pink, you know?
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we talked about that a little bit. The colors are not quite what you were expecting them to be for some of these.
Did you finish this guy, or did I need to finish him? I think I finished.
Which one?
I thought she set one down here.
Oh.
Let's see. This is the one I needed to finish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, these are the guys that are... I forgot. I gave you the wrong guys. I should have given you the guys I'm already working on.
It's okay.
I got it mixed up.
It's okay. All the bandages have to be done.
Yeah, I'll just do that. Well, that way you're using as much of it as we can, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so while you're doing that, I'll do the skin. I'm going to start doing the skin because that's the next biggest area. That's probably the area I should have done sooner.
Or are we just going to keep the skin gray?
Well, I was going to do that Griff Charger gray.
Oh.
Yeah. And, you know, his beard is supposed to be like a slightly darker blue. I'm not sure how to do that with the contrast. It's almost maybe too much detail for contrast.
Well, could we just put a little night gaunt on it?
It would look too light against the gray, though. That's the tricky part whenever you do one thing, you know.
The Drakenhof?
The Drakenhof, yeah, that would work. Yeah, something a little darker. Yeah, that'll definitely work. Okay, so we've got the skin tone we're working on here for these guys.
Doing the bandages for these guys. And depending on how dark these guys dry, I may do a dry brush on them.
Okay. If they get too dark?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if they look so dark, they look lizard folky. So yeah, we kind of learned when we were doing the zombie side batch paint that it's kind of a hurry up, slow down kind of process.
Yep, exactly. I might as well do the other bandages, the red too, so I'm going to go and do those while I'm at it.
And where are those?
The top ones on his hands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you're still doing some, I
yes,
could do both those.
I will. I didn't realize he had some up
I
there
know.
too.
Well, see, that's another thing when you're painting something for the first time is like, oh crap, there's all this detail I didn't even see.
Right?
It happens all of the time.
Yeah, it does.
Well, like even those zombies, they had spikes and I mean not the spikes, the metal plates.
Oh, you're right.
We kept finding more and more of them.
More and more of those little metal plates. And we're
Mm-hmm.
like, wait, those aren't boils. Those are metal plates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely a perfect example of that.
Definitely. Oh, yeah. I kind of like this color, though, for the bandages, because it's kind of got, like, a reddish purple to it, so it kind of fits.
It definitely seems to, yeah.
Yeah. It's like the universe was saying, here, spill this. You need this on the other one.
Alright, yeah, it actually looks like a good contrast, too. Warm and cool there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's 3 colors. Let's see if we can reach our limit of 4.
We want the minimum of 3 for the Duncan rule.
Well, the Duncan rule is the coats. The two
I
thin
know.
coats. Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. The Girls Game 2 rule.
Yes, there you go. The 3 color rule.
The 3 color rule.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Duncan rule is the 3 coat rule.
2 thin coat.
Too thin coats. Boy, I'm just all over the place, aren't I?
Well, I didn't come up with it, so I'm just the messenger.
He's not Duncan.
I'm just the messenger.
Who is Duncan?
Duncan Rhodes. He's one of the miniature painters for Games Workshop.
It's like, why is he making rules? Why are we listening to him?
It's just a joke, anyway. You know, like it's all fan fiction. Everything's fan fiction when it comes down to it. All right, a little bit of gray in there. Oh, might as well. Okay, that gray really makes a difference because it didn't seem like you're really going to be able to read him very well.
Yeah.
The gray and the bandages make a big difference. Yeah, if only we had our dragon to paint right now. I think that dragon would be purple.
Oh, yeah. Well, we do have them, but we don't have them primed.
Or at least a pinkish purple. Oh, I meant the one that, the commission.
Oh, that commission. Yeah.
Okay, there's 3 colors. This one will be 3. I'm going to do the bandages on this one. We're getting really close to finishing here.
Yeah, we are.
All right, this would be a good time to have some background music, right?
It's good. You know, you can do song requests but then the video on demand won't be as good.
Okay.
But yeah, we could definitely have some music.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can figure that out. Somewhere I have song requests.
Okay.
I don't know if I can do it.
Get a little more of that griff charger.
Not sure where my media thing went to. Bum, bum, bum.
Okay.
Where's my media request?
Some of that griff charger. Where's that griff charger?
Media request. There it is.
And if you want me to take one of these home and just like kind of go all out with it, just so you can take one of them to the next level, I could do that. Just for fun.
Do you want him to do that?
Yeah, everybody, let me know.
Yeah, let us know.
Want me to paint up one of these nomads in a deluxe style?
Do you want a deluxe nomad?
See where you can go with like a combination of contrast and classic. So, you know, imagine that you painted these basic colors in contrast for just one of these dudes. It probably would only take you about 10-15 minutes, honestly.
That's true.
If you divided it down to just one of the guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so you imagine you've saved that much time just to kind of prep him. And then you go in with highlights or whatever. Okay, well, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours max. And then you've already got a pretty nice miniature, you know, like certainly not like display level or whatever, like competition level, of course. That's just not going to happen in a couple hours. But you've got one that's a little bit far beyond just kind of like the next level. It's a little bit more advanced than just straight up. Okay, I did 2 colors or 3 colors and I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a little bit higher than tabletop quality.
Right.
Instead of 10-15 hours, which is kind of my average, at least.
10-15 hours on a miniature.
Usually, yeah. I would.
Wow.
That's just an estimate, though, because I don't even really know how much time I never really gauged it. The only time I've ever gauged how much time I've spent on miniatures was when I was doing commission work. And it was just, I've only done commission work one time, so I don't have a whole lot to gauge it off of there. You know?
Yeah. Okay, I'm almost done with these.
Perfect.
Alright, I can't get my media request up for some reason. It doesn't want to.
What is that, comments?
No, well, the media request is if we wanted songs.
Oh, that's alright. It was
we ain't gonna get that up today.
It was a thought. Okay.
I have Pretzel Rocks if somebody knows how to get that going.
What's it called?
Pretzel Rocks. It's all royalty-free music, or they pay the royalties to the...
Oh, yeah, you told me about them before.
Yeah.
Last time. Maybe not last time, maybe the time before.
Yeah, I think it was the time before.
Yeah, it's when I mentioned, oh, we'll get paid to play songs? Like, no, they pay the artists.
Yeah, they pay the artists, not us.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Exactly. Alright, so... I almost got these.
Yeah, these guys are looking pretty close to the original. The original design actually has more colors than it really needs, in my opinion.
What? Because you can get lost in all that.
Yeah, like, if you're going to do the hay color for the pelt, there's no reason to do a different color for the bandage. I mean, the same color for the bandages. And at the same time, I don't know. It's too much going on. That's all I can say.
It is a lot.
Not enough going on. I mean, I guess it doesn't need what it has. It doesn't need how... I'm getting kind of lost, so I'm just going to shut up now. All right. So let's see. Where was I?
I know my miniatures are getting happy.
Yes.
Come on, get happy with my miniatures.
So we've got all those guys. So these guys are ready to do the...
Alright, there's that one.
Okay.
One more bandages, which is good because this contrast is starting to get lumpy.
Yeah, that's good timing.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, you got to use some of it, so that's good.
Yes, because I felt really bad about spilling it. I don't normally just throw it out here onto here. That's not normal. No one's bleeding.
It's a paint that just came out, so it's easily replaceable. And
that's true.
And it doesn't even need to be replaced because I still have plenty of it, so don't even worry about it.
Voluptuous pink.
Yeah. Yeah, especially for $8 a pot. Come on.
I know, that's why I feel so bad.
No, it's not the full pot is what I'm getting at.
$8 a pot, and she goes and she spills it.
No, that's what I mean. I don't want you to have to spend that much on a pot of paint.
My God, woman.
How are we doing on comments? Anybody have anything to say?
Yeah, what y'all talking about? You talking behind our backs?
Yeah. What's the goss?
Tell us what's the poop? What's the scoop? Tell us what you think. Would you do a different color?
Yeah.
Do you like our colors? Do you think we should have done something differently? Or is this how you would have done it? Comment and let us know. We're dying to know what your thoughts are. We are painting Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea with all the expansions. Right now we're working on the Nomads expansion, as well as we're painting the Warriors. We're just giving the Warriors a wash so that we can tell them the difference between them and the Serfs. And I right now am working on a Nomad, actually. We went a little bit deeper with our Nomads, and we actually primed them. There's that guy. And now I'm going to go ahead, if these are dry, I'm going to go ahead and give them a quick, I think, dry brush.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, the ones that got kind of dark.
Yeah, the dark.
Do you want to just palette back and you can just put it right on top of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't need the big one, so. Okay. Well, I might as well finish these guys up then, since we're pretty far along with all of them.
So, you did... Oh, wow. That looks fantastic.
That's just the Griff Charger Gray.
So, this is just the Griff Charger Gray. Let's see if I can get
For the skin color. And then the we'll probably just have to get a picture at the end, huh?
Yeah, probably, but I was hoping you might focus in.
Yeah.
Maybe that.
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
Look at that.
That's a really good picture of it.
Yeah, it is.
Nice detail. So you got kind of the cold skin against the warm flesh color of the pelt. And I didn't notice before, but he has kind of like a ratty cape that's attached to the pelt. So I could go back in and knock those out real quick after I finish these.
And then if we wanted, we could put some blue on his beard and hair.
And yeah, we will. Yeah, I think we can do that. Yep.
Some of that Drakenhof.
Yep. Yep. And maybe even have time to do a metallic.
Doesn't that look awesome, guys?
Yeah.
And see, we have done this. I said we'd do it all in less than 3 hours, and we're just now hitting. We're not to the 3 hour mark. We still have to grab those 5 serfs.
Yes.
Okay, or those 5 warriors.
That's not going to take any time, though.
Those aren't going to take any time. So let me get this dry brush done. I'm just going to take a little white, actually. Seriously going to take white.
I'm kind of doing a different thing rather than putting them on those. Sometimes, just depending on the miniature, it's almost better to just have. Once you got some control over where everything goes. Just grab and go rather than using the stick. I don't know. It just depends. Depends on the miniature a lot of the time.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm just cleaning up my dry brush a little bit because it still got some of that from when I did the dry brush with the blue in there.
Yeah.
So, just gonna clean that up a little.
This guy. Okay, so I'm just
multitask here.
I'm doing the cloaks again, the pelts. Oh, I was gonna do the spear as well, but I'll go back to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of moving around all over the place now.
That happens.
Well, I think it's partially because we're getting close to finishing these up.
Yeah, we're getting excited now. We're excited. Alright, so I'm just gonna... taking just a little bit of this white. I do not want a lot. I could very easily get too much on this. I can see me doing too much here very easily, so I'm going to try to do this very, very, very softly. And the way that I like to do that is by using my hand. And that is how I get a softer dry brush. Is I use my hand like a palette. And I'm going to start off back here. So see, I'm just going to... then just kind of... and I did too much already. Yep. Too much. This is that purple. This is that voluptuous.
Which purple?
Oh, it's the voluptuous. The nice thing is when you do too much highlights, you can just put it right back over it. So if I don't like it, I can just put the stuff back over it. And I didn't like the white on it. So I'm not going to do the highlights. I don't like the white highlights. It would have to be something not as stark. So I may just leave it.
Okay.
It's dark.
No, it looks alright with just a single highlight. I mean, you don't want to have to push it too much anyway.
Alright, I'm just going to leave it.
It's just going to be like a
to
dark
heck with
purple.
the dry brush. It's just going to be a dark purple. Yep.
Or pinkish purple.
Yeah.
I mean, it still looks different than the other purple, so that
it does look different, and
I almost think maybe a flesh tone would have made more sense, but it's.
I think you're right.
I don't know.
But it's too late now.
It is.
Yeah.
I made the wrong choice on that one, so.
It's okay. We made a choice.
Yeah.
And it definitely will be distinguishable.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
That's all that matters anyway with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a part of me that would like to change what I did with the Lionkins.
So it's closer to yellow instead of like orange.
Yeah. But I don't know what to do because we did that yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, alright.
Well, it was a warmer yellow, so that's why it came out, as warm as it did.
Exactly.
Orange yellow.
These came out very subtle. Alright, last 5.
Okay.
We still don't know what color we're doing them. Oh yeah, we do. We have that green.
Mm-hmm.
We do know what color we're doing.
That you really want to thin out, because otherwise it's going to be almost black. That Dark Angel's green is almost
the Dark
black.
Angel's green.
It's very, very dark. So you definitely want to use some of your contrast medium. Thin it out good.
Alright, we're going to do the Dark Angel's green. Here we go. Dark Angels. Not angles. Let's see if I can get. There we go. See if it'll give it a minute. To focus.
Yeah, it just does it when it wants to, I guess.
Yeah. Focus. I'm like, focus. Yeah. Okay, so you guys are like, yeah, moving it and asking it to focus is just anti-productive. Alright, and this one I still need. So this, in case y'all are wondering, in case you came in late, this is the magic wash. Alright.
In quotes.
In quotes. This is the one that we did. And it's the Earth Shade with the magic wash. So you can kind of see there is some on there. A little bit. It's not a lot. There it goes. It's very subtle. You see that, Dane?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that came out good that time.
It's very subtle.
Yeah, you can't hardly tell what the shades are on there.
Yeah, it's very, very subtle in there. But it's there.
Just barely.
But like you can see it in the cape. In the dark recesses. It's just very barely there. So, yeah. I kind of like that brown, though, on the lion. Did we have a brown? Maybe I should do skeleton horde on the lion.
On the lion?
Yeah.
Well,
I wonder what it'd look like over top of that.
Oh, it wouldn't show up.
It wouldn't?
No, it's not dark enough.
It wouldn't, huh?
Yeah, it's just not dark enough.
It wouldn't mix or nothing?
Well, it would probably just kind of mute it a little bit more, like, you know, make it look more like almost gray.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Be interesting to see what it did. You know me.
If you don't like it, you can throw it in simple green, and I'm sure it'll clean it all up. So.
I like to try these things. All right.
As long as it's not resin, you should be able to bring it back if you feel like you want to paint it again.
Goes back in there. That one goes there. Here we go. Okay, I have a area here. I can put a couple drops of paint. And then we're going to add some a bunch. Of contrast medium here. And mix that up. We might even need a little more contrast medium. Whoa. Yeah, definitely need more contrast medium here. So you definitely, with these darker colors, need to use that contrast medium in fairly large amounts. From what we've been able to tell. There we go. Okay. Alright, here we go. I got a big old mop to mop this on with now.
Yeah, it's good to have that.
Yeah. Alright, so got this nice and mixed up. Got a big old mop here, fully filled. Alright, so from the bottom. Okay, yeah, I think these are the elves. It'll be interesting to see if this dries just as dark. Love the detail. Love the detail gambling games on these. Just have to say. For, you know, the...
Even though they didn't paint your nomads for you, huh?
Even though they didn't paint the nomads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow, these gals have boobs. I didn't even notice the boobs until I started painting. Hey, Ryan, did you know that the elves were women? If you're watching, I think you're watching. He's like played this game more than practically anyone I know.
Oh, okay.
And so I wondered if he knew. They're all women. They all have boobs. I never noticed that before. So yeah, these are going to go super quick. Especially with this big mob of a paintbrush. How are those coming?
They're almost done until we get the beard in. But I think that's pretty much all we need to do.
Yeah, the beard.
Yeah.
Then we'll be done.
Pretty much. I mean, the spear point, but, you know, spear point needs to be something, but...
I kind of liked it that gray.
Yeah?
Yeah. It made it look more, authentic.
We could even do that as the Drakenhof.
That's true.
Yeah, just make it almost like an obsidian.
Ooh.
Yeah, that sounds good, actually. Maybe it's just, or even green. Since you got so much green now.
I know, with that with the medium.
Mm-hmm.
It is amazing how,
You want me to try one and see how it looks?
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can do one in a different color. One in each color, an obsidian, a green. They each have a different gemmed spearhead. Do one in the pink.
It does look cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, maybe so. Still have some of that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually. I think I found it. Spear points wrapped up in pink.
Ooh.
Yep. Yep, that's what did it.
That did it?
Uh-huh.
The voluptuous pink?
Yeah.
And then we're not doing another color.
Right. Exactly. You're just sticking with kind of the 4-color. I mean, the green becomes like a, what do you call it, spot color.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Dark Angels green?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And I did kind of neglect to do the inside cloak, but I'm just going to throw in some of that same skeleton horde inside of there.
Oh, okay.
Just the inside part. It'll help with the contrast, too, of the skin. Right? The skin being cool and the skeleton horde being warm.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is a really good example of what you can do with just a couple of warm and cool colors complementing each other.
So there is our Dark Angels green on our elves.
Good. Yeah, it toned down the turquoise. Yep, but it still looks really nice though.
Trying to get if I can hold still long enough. It's hard on the stick. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this. There it goes.
Something else you can do with this contrast paint, and it's a little risky to do it, but on areas where it's kind of flat panels and it looks kind of patchy, you can just kind of do like really quick little wipe with your finger.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I just did on these spear points. So we'll see how that kind of turns out. You could hand me the Drakenhof.
Okay.
And then I can go ahead and start doing the hair.
Oh, it's right there.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Let me just put it right there just so I got it. And I should be able to start the downhill on these guys.
Oh, fantastic. So look at that. So you're doing the hair on the nomads.
Mm-hmm.
And we have now successfully washed all 8 factions. All the warriors for all 8 factions.
Mm-hmm.
And
we're at about, what, hour 2 now? Second hour?
3.
Actually. Did it just start?
It's at 8. It's 8 o'clock. So we just finished
8?
hour
Okay.
3. And we started a little late.
Yeah,
we
that's
didn't
true.
quite start at 5.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're actually not quite at
just under 3 hours.
Just under 3 hours. Yeah,
okay.
Which I said we can do this in 3 hours.
Uh-huh.
And Dane didn't believe me.
Well, just because of these guys, actually. I totally believed you with the...
Yeah, he totally believed me with the factions. But then when he said, wait a minute, you want to do the factions and you want to, do a full paint on these nomads? And I'm like, yeah we can totally do this in 3 hours. No problem, Dane. I bet you we even do it under. It's like, all right, well, let's try. So, look at that. And he just doesn't realize just how fantastic he is.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
I see. As long as you're brushing buttering me up.
Yeah, exactly. And so then, and you know what? Should I keep this one lionkin different that's done in the magic dip? Or should I go back and do him in the orange?
Viewer poll.
Viewer poll.
Yeah.
We have 2 viewers, so we're polling you. We got the lionkins here. So we have the contrast lionkin. And what was this contrast we did? The yellow?
That was the Eondin yellow.
Eondin yellow.
The Eldar
yellow.
Eldar yellow.
Right here. That's what most of the lionkins are.
It's very warm.
Or I have the one magic dip lionkin done in Athgrax, Earthshade, and Magic Wash. So should I keep the one different? I'm afraid that he's going to get confused, though.
Right.
Probably shouldn't. Anyone? Welcome to the chat room. We just got another... We're having a poll. Should I keep him different? Or should I make him the same as all the other lionkins? He was our special dude that we did with the magic wash, and he didn't turn out quite as well. I think I just answered my own question.
I think you did.
And I'm going to do the Avendan yellow. I'm just going to take it straight out of the pot.
I hate correcting because it's so
I'm glad you did.
I know, but all of it's so ridiculous to be like, oh, it's actually Eondin. It's like all this stuff is made up, so it really doesn't matter.
So you know the colors we use today. We use contrast colors.
Yes.
Fire Slayer Flesh.
Yes.
We used that on a couple of them,
which was pretty dark.
Yeah.
Surprised that it was a little darker.
We used Dark Angels Green.
And that definitely is dark.
That is very dark. And we had to mix that with the medium.
Mix it with the medium,
yes.
Exactly.
Did we use the Griptown Orange?
No, we didn't actually. We did not use that. We used
Maybe I should have used the Griptown Orange on the Lionkins.
No, it was pretty dark. It was like a terracotta. That would have looked pretty dark on those guys.
You don't think that would have looked good?
Yeah, it would have looked pretty dark. In my opinion.
We didn't use the Griptown Orange on anything. I'm very upset about this.
Well, You can't use them all, right?
We used the contrast warp lightning.
Yes.
Yes.
That was for these guys.
The goblins.
Oh, well, they don't really show up, but you know.
It doesn't really show up.
Use your imagination on that.
Yeah. We used... What else did we use? Over here. Oh, we used voluptuous pink, and that is what you see all over here.
Volupus, but voluptuous works much better. I think.
I think voluptuous is much better, yes.
It's more appropriate.
It's much more appropriate.
It's a Slanesh pink, which is
yes.
the
Did
god
we
of
use
pleasure.
Purple? Rift
Lord...
Charger Gray. We used it.
Mm-hmm. We did use Rift Charger Gray quite a bit. I'm using it on the skin, on the Nomad. And we also use Skeleton Horde on the Nomad.
Did we use Shash Purple?
And yes.
Did we use Lavender and Blue?
We did not use that one.
No.
Leviathan.
Where's the skeleton one?
Skeleton Horde. It's right here. Skeleton Horde.
We used Skeleton Horde. And all of these are available at your friendly local game store. Mm-hmm. These were all did you purchase yours the same place I purchased mine?
Yep, absolutely.
These were all purchased at our friendly local game store here in Tempe, Arizona. Yep. Game Depot.
Game Depot.
Game Depot. Hello, Patty and Paul.
Yes.
Or John. We're not sure your name. We know Patty. Hi, Patty.
Yep.
And contrast skyish purple. We also use that.
Shush.
Purple. Shush.
And it's perfect.
And the Ivandon yellow. That is what I'm putting on Lionkins right now.
Yes. The Lionkins.
The Lionkins. And then Drakenhof.
The circle of life.
Where's the Drakenhof? The Drakenhof Nightshade. This is not a contrast cool.
No.
We use that as well as White Scar and Canter Blue. These are the colors that we used that were not contrast.
For the knight. The human knight, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The White Scar and the Canter Blue, yes, all three of these we used on the human knight. That's right.
All right.
So I mixed the Canter Blue and the White Scar for the dry brush. And then I did a wash of the Drakenhof on the human knights. So just because I couldn't find a contrast that would do that. Now there might be a contrast that I don't own that would do that, but I don't own every contrast yet. GW Citadel, if you would like to send them to me, we will try out every single contrast for you.
We'll do a test.
We will do a test. We will do a show on every single one.
Yep.
But you had to send them to me, and then I will say that I was sponsored by y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that does happen.
It does.
Yeah.
I have heard of it.
Yep.
It just hasn't happened to me yet.
Well, but there's only one way to make that happen, right?
That's right.
Make the shout out. Oops.
That's right.
Okay. I'm almost done. I just have to go back inside. Oh, you're doing the lion again?
I'm doing this lion.
Okay.
This was the magic dip lion or the magic wash lion.
Yes.
And so I'm just going straight from the pot.
So you're gonna commit to doing the what do you call it? Contrast for all of them then.
Just for this. Yes. It's official. That doesn't mean that we won't try the magic wash again on another. Honey, I got so many things to paint.
Another episode.
Yeah, another episode, and I can always print stuff to paint. Mm-hmm. That's what I love about having a 3D printer. Is if we run out of games to paint, we'll print more.
Yeah.
If we run out of miniatures, we'll print more. We run out of scenes, we'll print more. Alright, so this is kind of cool because look, you can see the earthen shade underneath.
Yeah, it actually brought it out. It was almost gone. It was almost invisible, but then that adding that color actually brought it out.
I almost like this one better.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yep, decisions. It's the thing about painting multiples, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you change anything up, then you're like, oh shit.
This one,
changed my mind.
this one, I swear I can see the detail on the face better because it has that earth shade. Now, it's wet, but it has that earth shade underneath. I'm going to give it a minute. You see that? Yeah. That's kind of interesting.
I know what I know how that sounds.
Yeah, but it's not like I can go back and do those the way I did this.
No, because it's the reverse, right?
It's actually the reverse, yes. Mm-hmm. So there's no way I could repeat it.
Unless
I simple green them.
Simple green them.
Yes, I simple green them and I'm not doing that.
No, because you gotta move on, right?
Because I have to move on. We're playing this Friday. Yeah. And I still gotta get those little tokens into their little round things, and with these nails, it's very difficult. Yes, that's the thing I'm having problems with.
Oh, okay.
So there's these little round tokens that you flip over every time. That's part of the exploration. They're the exploration tokens. Okay. And they get flipped over when they get revealed. So I have covers for all my exploration tokens. Okay. So I'm decking out my game. Okay. So I'm covering all my cards. I'm covering all my expiration tokens. I'm painting up my minis. And I'm organizing with my Sandbox Gaming. Let me grab this here. My Sandbox Gaming organizers. Yes. And which we are going to be doing a raffle and a giveaway. Oh. And during the game. What? Yep. My Sandbox Gaming is going to be giving away. Is going to be donating some of these sandboxes for us to go ahead and raffle during the live feed. So if you are watching during the live feed, we will be having a raffle and giveaway, and just showing up to the live feed, getting in on the chat, and commenting is going to give you a free ticket to that raffle. And we will be giving that away during the game. Sweet. Yeah. Okay. So I'm decking out my game here, and part of that is covering those tokens with these little plastic covers. Okay. So, because they get used a lot, and you don't want them to get ruined. Well, you got to open up these little plastic token covers. And nails,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
with these nails. Oh, I got paint all over me. With these nails, it's kind of difficult. I'm sitting here going, oh my God, I had no patience for this afternoon.
I've seen those, yeah.
And so, there was just no way I was getting that done. I literally sent out a text to my friend Jekka, and I'm like, help! Mm-hmm. I need someone who doesn't have claws like me to help me with this. And she's laughing at me. And she's like, did you figure it out? I'm like, no, I haven't figured it out. I've been painting all afternoon. How did I figure it out? She's like, all right. So hopefully someone's going to help me with that before Friday. Okay. Because we got to get that done. So I'm just going to work on cleaning up these brushes.
Okay. And I'm almost done.
While you're finishing that.
Almost done.
And then we're going to show off these nomads, and then we're going to call it a happy little miniature show. Mm-hmm. So, unless I have a surprise stream, which you never know, there's no scheduled show for tomorrow. Okay. But Friday, 7 p.m. is our big HoLAs game. Very excited about that. And then next week on Thursday, we have Real Girls Cosplay. We are painting on cosplay. Yeah. We're going to be painting up our armor, our foam armor. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So we sealed it last week. That was last week. Yeah, we sealed it, and now we're going to paint it.
I lost the dark Drakenhof again.
Oh, you know what? I probably grabbed
the very last color.
Here it is.
Okay, great.
And, sorry about that bump. Did I just wake y'all up by bumping this microphone?
Very last.
And, those look so freaking fantastic.
Oh, I'm glad, because I had to really, speed it up. I was like, okay, I'm almost done. I can do this.
You can do it. Yeah. You can do it probably better than I can, that's for sure. And, so Real Girls Cosplay on Thursday. Mm-hmm. We're back at Lizzie's Lair. And then Friday is Betrayal. Yeah. Yeah, remember that? Betrayal? I know we've been just so discombobulated this month. We've been totally off schedule. But we are playing Betrayal. Yeah, we really are. And Sadie will be there, and Sir Richard will be there. So I'm super excited because I feel like I haven't seen them forever. Although Sadie will be there for HoLAs. So I'm super excited to see her. So, hey, the house has disappeared into hell. What the fuck?
What?
Yeah, on Betrayal. The house got sucked into hell last episode.
Okay, I don't know what.
Oh, you need to watch this.
Yeah, you need. Yeah, so, what is Betrayal anyway? Tell me, what game is this?
So it's Betrayal, House on Haunted Hill, you know.
Oh, okay.
And so it's a campaign.
It's based on that story.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Not really, but
Not really. Okay.
It's based on the original.
Okay.
Not the one you're thinking.
Well, Vincent Price?
Yes. Yeah, Vincent
That's the one I'm thinking.
Oh, okay. Well, then it is based on the one. Most people don't think of Vincent Price. That's the one I think.
I always think of Vincent Price.
Me too. I always think
Any
of
chance
Vincent
I get,
Price.
I think about him.
Me too. And so... That's why you and I are so simpatico. And
one of many reasons.
One of many, yes. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, it's kind of based on that. You're all stuck in this house up on the hill. And every episode, if your character doesn't die, you're the same character. But I was the same character for 200 years. Bertha, then she got killed by the cops. Yep, crooked cops finally killed her.
Okay. She
got taken out of the house. We believe that's why she died. Is she got taken out of the house to the police station. And the house was keeping her alive. Mm-hmm. And she finally died. So now I'm a new character. But the house got sucked. I think Bertha was helping to keep the house alive, too. Because the house got sucked into hell. Yeah. And they went and they built a freaking sanitarium on the site. A mental institution. Yeah. Uh-huh. Can you believe it? Yeah, me neither. So, the crazy people... which we might be. I'm not sure. But we might be the crazy people now. I said, why don't we just play Coma Ward? That's what I said, because they just changed the game to Coma Ward.
What?
That's coming up, Coma Ward.
So confused.
I know. Well, it's a totally different game, but...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Coma Ward is a game similar to Betrayal, where y'all wake up in a sanitarium.
Oh,
and you've been in coma,
so
and you're stuck there, and you have to figure out it's a haunted sanitarium, and you figure out your way out.
It's like a crossover.
It's totally a crossover. But, no, we're not playing Coma Ward. We're still on Betrayal.
Okay.
Legacy game. I think it's like chapter 9 of 13. House has been sucked into hell. Sanitarium's been built on the site. Uh-huh. And, I think we have to still find the dude that's in hell that's making all the trouble for us. Mm-hmm. I think that's what we're supposed to do. Oh, by the way, spoiler alerts. If you've been listening. Obviously, I didn't spoil it for him because he's still confused.
Yes.
So.
And I'm done with the minis.
There we go. Look at that. And I'm done with cleaning up the brushes.
Yay.
Yay. Okay. Oh, look at that. Is that an ant?
So, I might as well talk about, I wasn't sure. Am I interrupting?
No, go for it. I'm just killing ants.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you about these colors here.
Please do.
Really quick. So I primed all 10 of these guys with Gray Seer. Okay, so these are all contrast paints, every single one of them, except for the very last one. So it should, there you go. You can spin it around just a little bit. So you see his beard is still a little wet because that was the very last color that I put on, which was Drakenhof Nightshade. But I'll go through the color list just so that way everybody knows. Started with Gray Seer primer. Then I did Skeleton Horde for the pelt. Exactly. The pelt, the spear, and the whole front of his tunic, including his loincloth, right? So it's more of like a skirt, actually. So that's all Skeleton Horde. Then I did Gryph-Charger Gray for all the skin, and then Volupus Pink, Heidi did for the bandages. And then I went back in and did the bandage, like the wrappings of the spear in Volupus Pink too.
Oh yeah.
And then just the green, Dark Angel's green for the spear point, so that way it kind of looks a little bit like obsidian kind of effect without being blue. Because if it was blue, it'd look too much like his skin.
Yes.
So you want to have a little bit of a color contrast there, just slight shift in color, so it doesn't look exactly the same.
Shift in value.
Yep, in value. And dark green versus a lighter grayish blue, right? So you got that as well. And then for the final color, it was Drakenhof Nightshade for the beard and hair. So I probably should get a picture of that up on Instagram.
On Instagram.
So I'll take one of these guys home. Well, actually, I can't take them home.
You can't take them home, but we can take a picture here.
Yep. Okay, so
Definitely.
I'll do that.
We're going to get the light out so you can get a good picture.
Yeah, we'll get the light, and then so that way everybody can see that. That's all that was. I lost track of how many colors that is. Skeleton Horde, Gray, Griff Charger Gray, Volupus Pink, and then Dark Angels Green. And Drakenhof Nightshade is the 5th color, so the very last one.
So we did do 5.
Yep, so only 5 colors there.
But only 5.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
But let us show you the picture we were working off of.
Yeah.
So you can see this is the picture.
Mm-hmm.
And let me take a dude.
Yeah.
And then here's a dude. Wow, look at that.
So we did make some changes, but not
a lot.
Pretty much in the spirit of the concept, right? He's still got the gray skin.
Yeah, definitely the spirit.
Yeah. And it's less complicated, actually. It's less complicated, which is what you're trying to go for that. If you're painting 10 of these guys.
Right. I mean, we just did 10 of these guys, plus, 8 times 5 is 40, plus 40 other warriors at the same time.
Yeah, in under 3 hours. Let's say under.
Yeah, well, it was. It was under 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a whole set.
Exactly.
Yeah. The only thing left is to base them. So.
Yes.
That's the only thing left.
That's the only thing left to do. Which, and I would like, because obviously I got messy on my bases, so I probably would want to base. I probably won't get them all based by Friday, but yeah, I think basing would probably be wise. So, hey, I hope you really enjoyed watching. And I hope you learned as much as I did, because I learned a ton. Obviously, so far, the Magic Wash has not stood up to what these contrast colors can do. And I am so amazed at how well these colors do. Mm-hmm. Actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's batch painting.
Yeah, when it comes to batch painting, these colors have really outdone themselves, I gotta say, because we put them to the test today.
We really did.
We really did. I know that Jane was like, "You want to do what?"
Yeah.
Okay. And I love you for the fact that you were like, "Okay."
Yeah, I like how these came out, and
they turned out really good.
You can always go back in and do more if you want.
Yeah, I mean, if we wanted to go and do those toenails and stuff, we could go get crazy with the details.
Yeah.
But which
is what I would do. My compulsion is I want to keep going.
But this looks for going to tabletop for Friday.
Yeah.
Nate, if you're watching, we have definitely got to play with these nomads, because these are freaking fantastic. Yeah, put that down.
That's probably what was doing.
That was doing it.
Mm-hmm. It was wanting to pick up that ambient
light. And so all right, now it just doesn't want to pick up. Now it doesn't want to pick it up.
Come on.
There it is.
Yeah.
These are so fantastic. We gotta play with these.
Doesn't that look good?
That looks so good. I mean, I'm gonna go so far as to say.
Oh, what? Yeah, what are you going to say?
So, this is a mercenary that came with the game, pre-painted. All right? So,
yeah.
Here's that.
Okay.
I personally think, I'm going to let this zoom in, focus.
Here, I need to put my face out of the way. That's probably wants to find my, that's.
Okay, so there's that. Okay. And that's not bad. I mean, that's a nice paint job.
It's got definition. The black lines inside of the details.
That's nice definition. Yeah. It's got, It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 colors.
Yeah. About I'd say 4 colors.
About the same colors. Yeah. But ours is better.
Yep. I agree.
Ours is definitely better.
Yep. I think so.
Oh fuck yeah. Ours is definitely better.
And if you really want to do really quick basing, you get the right color texture paint for the color that you want to do. So in the case of a nomad, you might want to get like a snow texture paint.
Yeah. Yeah.
You might need to go back to Game Depot again. Grab some texture paint.
I might need to.
And then you get that snow. It's already got the texture on there.
Yeah.
You do a quick wash of like a dark blue or something, and it looks like snow.
That's
and then
true.
there you go.
That's true.
You're all set. They're all nomads in the hinterlands or whatever.
It's true. And so for this, actually, I already have my thing already set up for them to go into.
There you go. All right. So
they go right in the middle.
Okay. This one?
Yep.
Okay. Look at that.
That's where they go.
They're ready to play with.
And then they're ready to go and ready to be played with.
It's perfect.
And so then this is my expansions organizer, and it has my mercenaries, my nomads, and my siege engine expansions with all their cards.
Perfect.
Trying to see where I have it. There we go. With all the cards and all the miniatures. And so then that just goes right into the box.
And who made that?
And this is from My Sandbox Gaming. And
That's
we will be raffling off one, actually I think 2 of these during the game tomorrow on Friday night.
Perfect.
Yeah. And so 4 of these will fit into a Heroes of Earth, Land, and Sea box. And will fit the 4 factions in the box with the boards. Yeah. It's a really awesome little system for organizing your games. So, and you can use them for any games. You don't have to just use them for Heroes. You can use them for any games. And so they have all sorts of neat little options. And so I think that is our show.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So thank you very much for joining us. And we will see you all Friday for our game, Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea with Pestilence. You know, I love to say that. And I'm just going to transition out our little screen there.
Everybody have a great one.
Yeah, y'all come back now, you hear? And thank you for the raid. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all the follows. And we will talk to y'all soon. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.